Howdy, carnivores. Hey, thanks for
Hi.
joining us. Thanks for joining us on 700 plus and counting carnivore diet transformations. This is Lindy,
Hi.
and I'm Todd. And today we're going to be talking about a few topics. One of which I was thinking that it's just something that's been on my mind is how to stay consistent with carnivore, because I know that is kind of a struggle for a lot of people, and also um, how to stay consistent with partners that might not be so consistent. So, and maybe not on the same path. And so yeah, we're gonna get into that, and definitely appreciate you guys coming, and feel free to ask any questions in the chat, and just kind of contribute with us, and we'll hang out for the next few hours here and see how things go. How was your
Yeah,
uh how was your week, Lindy?
pretty good. Been busy. Just getting ready to hand over my job in the next 2 days. So yeah, that'll be really good. And then can concentrate on my health. My plan is to take 3 months off. I still have a few little projects which keep me a little bit busy, but I've got all these carnivore books. I'm going to sit down, Dr. Baker's book, and a few other ones, and just read those, binge read. And summer's coming as well, so I want to get outside, do a bit of walking, try and get a bit of swimming in. So just going to concentrate on my health for the next 3 months, and then figure out what I'm going to do with my life after that. So all positive, new chapter. So I'm happy.
That's awesome. Yeah,
How about you? How was your week?
it was a busy week for sure. Let's see, the Sean Baker interview with me came out, and that created a little boom, so that was fun. And then me and Carrie's schedules lined up, and was on Homestead How last night, so that was fun. And I enjoy talking to Carrie. He's a good dude. And did a podcast yesterday, first podcast ever. That was weird.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'd never done an actual podcast, just audio. It was weird talking to a voice on a microphone. So without a face, that was fun. It's called the Fat Guy Forum. So that'll be actually airing. Part one will be airing tonight. Because would you believe that I got a little long winded and it turned into two parts?
I find that
uh,
hard to believe.
I know, it's so out of character for me to get a little long winded. So yeah, that was going on. But Kozak got her stitches out today, so that was awesome. Yeah, she's feeling like a
Yeah.
whole new puppy. She's still pretty mad about the poking and prodding to get the stitches out today, but she's
Oh,
she's finally over her little stint of rough spots here. So that's going
you're
good.
sleeping it off now.
Yeah, exactly. She is too. She's out cold in her chair. She's like, I'm going to bed. You guys keep poking on me. But yeah, no, it was a fun, exciting week, and busy week. It's so funny. I'm jealous of you because you're going into summer. We got a foot of snow out here right now. Not very happy about it.
Oh. We don't get snow where I am, but it gets cold, and like I'm actually feeling the cold now. I never used to feel the cold as much as I do now, but I've lost a bit of weight, so I guess a bit of that padding's gone now, and yeah, just been like bed socks and all. So
Yeah, yeah. Well,
yeah,
I threw this sports coat on just before the show because I'm freezing right now. I'm like, I'm not gonna shiver through this whole show. And I was like, why am I so cold? I've turned into a wimp. And I'm like, I think it's because last winter I had an extra 250 pounds of insulation.
yeah, exactly. It makes a big difference. So yeah, no,
it,
definitely. Like
it
it's spring
does.
here now, and I'm shivering now, and it's like it's not too bad outside, but yeah, no, it's cold for me still.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's 7 degrees here right now. It is not fair. It's gonna be cold Halloween. But yeah, I don't know. I was just starting to think about uh how many times I tried to change my habits and stuff, and what was different this time around. And I mean, I think there's a lot of things different. One, my situation was much more dire than it had ever been before in the past, and so it had my attention much more. Well, it had a captive audience. I couldn't go anywhere, so I had to really think about it. But I was thinking about what were the things that really made my habits actually change, like for good this time, and where I'd failed so many times in the past. And I was thinking, I think the thing was, as much as anything, I had to, it was a lot of things, but it was making up my mind, but also it was creating this really easy world. Like, I don't know, my brain always goes to, electrical theory on things, but electricity takes the path of least resistance all the time. And so I had to create the path of least resistance to the things that I wanted to be the new habit, right? So I had to make the bad choices harder to get to, and I had to make the right choices the easy, quickest, fastest, simplest thing that was most readily available. And that's why I ended up having to build this little 12-foot world around me, and I had to have the food right there, the cooking things right there. I had to have enough, because something as simple as something being frozen when I needed to eat, or running out of some kind of food, or having a dish that was dirty that I'd have to wash before I could eat. It's one of those things as simple and even kind of humiliating that that something that simple could throw me off. I just had to plan every day to keep that from ever being a problem, so that literally I could reach in the fridge, grab something, throw it in, throw it in a ninja cooker, and in 15 minutes be eating, and just have it be just that simple every time. And though I'm not proud of it that my resolve was that bad, it is a testimony to people that say, that, oh, you have incredible willpower. It's like, nope. I really had to
Yeah.
build this thing. And so that was kind of what I was going to talk about, because it was just really in my head I'm really curious how other people really changed their habits, and how they made that actually, how that actually looked in their day to day, where it became, a new, like, almost autonomic habit form.
Mm. Well, definitely all the diets, like I've been on so many different diets, it always felt like, you're calorie restricting, you're going without food. Um, that was just difficult. It was like being in torture. You're always hungry, even though you'd eaten. It was like, oh, I'm still hungry. I want to eat more. And then those voices in your head are just calling at you. You just need to have something else to get rid of that voice. But it just never switched off. So I guess that's for me. Carnivore has given me that off switch that I never had with any other diet before. And I can just eat. I feel satisfied. I enjoy my steak. I don't. It's not torturous to sit there and eat a steak.
For
Um,
sure.
so yeah, I don't feel like I'm being deprived anymore. And that has been a game changer for me. So yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, the off switch, absolutely. What do you think did you do anything different to make it easier, as far as to actually access and make it habit forming, the things that that you were changing on your diet, and kind of the process, because it had to been difficult when you're like trying to make steak for you, but trying to make, maybe a pizza or something for your husband and kids and stuff. That couldn't have been easy either.
Yeah, no, that definitely was. The first 6 months I did struggle trying to convert to carnivore because I had the family that weren't doing carnivore, so you had to prepare different meals. Then my mindset as well, like I was just, I eat for comfort. So if something happens, I get upset. If I'm just feeling blah, I just, automatically just want to go for the snack. So you can sit down and have a meal, and then you just want a snack. So for 6 months, I did struggle to stay on track, and then it was always it was all or nothing for me. I'd go full on, having my steak, and then I'd have a little cheat, and then oh, that's it. I'll start again next week. Not
Right.
next meal, next week, or I'll start on the first of the month. There was always a reason to extend that, and so I just couldn't keep consistent. And that's when I reached out to SVG gang. Like I know this is going to help me. I feel good when I'm on it, but I just can't stick to it. Those voices are pulling me. The emotional crutch of eating all these comfort foods. I need help with this. And they were able to sort of talk through that with me, deal with my family who were eating other things. And that just, I think having that support, people that understood and had been through it as well, that really helped me to get through it. Now I'm as strong as anything. We went out yesterday and we went and visited my daughter, and we had to buy some coffees and things for the girls in the shop, and we got some McDonald's coffees, and my husband was like, "Oh, I'm going to have some cheeseburgers and some of this," and I'm like, "Okay," and I didn't.
Right.
And that was hard watching him having those things, because he's carnivore too, but like I keep saying, he's a dirty carnivore, and got those carbs. I really get him every time. So we
Yeah.
had that in his iced coffees and all that kind of stuff, and I'm just like, okay, you do that, but I'm really proud that I've stood strong, and I can, this is my journey, and he has to do what he wants to do. I can't say anything. I just hope one day he'll be strong enough to say no to all that kind of stuff as well. But yeah, those voices are hard, and it's hard now that I've found that strength. I just hope that can rub off on him, and I just have to lead by example, I guess. So
Right. It's almost like you just want to just hit a switch and get him to feel how good it is to be free from that, and how easy it is, once you break through that wall and you get over that, that pinnacle. It's actually really
mm,
easy. It gives you so much power to just be like, I'm not touching this stuff. And it's not a willpower thing anymore. It's not a struggle thing. And it's like you want them to feel that, because they think that by easing into it and having these cheat days and things, that they're taking the easier route to it, and that they'll eventually get there. And it's like, actually, no, you're making it harder every day for yourself when you keep going back to that thing. Like, if you would just, he might not know how close he is to actually getting free from that. He could get really close to it on a few good days, and then he's so close, and you're like, if you did that for like a week more, you would be there, and it wouldn't, wouldn't have that. And I don't know, I have no idea, but sometimes I think that with people, because I see it, with my mom and stuff. I'm like, if you wouldn't have had that no sugar added pudding cup today, you wouldn't be craving so many carbs right now. This wouldn't be so hard on you, because you had that
yeah,
one little thing, and then it adds like 3 days now of cravings, and it's like, how many times do you want to go through that 3 days before the cravings are so
yeah.
bad?
And he does feel great when he's just doing carnival. He's one of out there, preaching about carnival to everybody. But then, yeah, these cravings just seem to get to him. But I don't think he's reached his desperate place like we had.
Yeah.
We were desperate. It was life or death for us. We either keep doing what we're doing and die, or we try carnival. If that fails, we'll die happy, at least with a bit of ribeye. But
Yeah.
that's not happening for us. We're like, yeah, limitless now. We're leaps and bounds and getting our life back. He
Yep.
hasn't obviously had his reached that desperate place. And until that happens, there's not really much I can do about it. So he
Right.
does know how good he feels on the diet, um, but those cravings are still there. And look, that was my first 6 months as well. It took me a few 6 months to actually find my feet with it all. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure it'll
And
help.
also, both me and you, I'm sure you can share, this too, that we've been had people our whole lives try to push us into it, and like, nobody's going to do it but yourself. Like, nobody else can make that decision for you and change your mind
Oh,
for you.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a hard one. Now that we're on our path, it is hard watching your loved ones, your friends as well, just go down that spiral, and they're sitting there and listening to them talk about all their ailments, and if only you ate just meat, you could fix all that, you could improve your symptoms. But like, I have to zip up, because I know if I open my mouth, it's an instant, oh no, they're not
Yeah.
going there, don't even talk about it, they don't want to know.
Yeah.
But like, I did have one girlfriend reach out to me, and she's like, oh, asking me so many questions, and she said she was going to start carnivore on Monday, last Monday, but then she woke up with indigestion and it's like, oh, I can't do it today. Okay. I haven't followed her up. I thought, she knows where I am. Hopefully she's back on or she has started it. But,
Yeah, man, I think all we can do for people is be an example, and then, never push it on them, never beat them down, but also just keep being a cheerleader for all the good parts of it. Just be like, I got so much energy today. So, tell them about all your carnivore friends and all the new people that are coming on to carnivore and the amazing things that are happening. I mean, just like the other day in the, SBG phone Zoom call, when like back to back they had, somebody, get rid of a cancerous tumor and just so many amazing things like back to back to back just keep happening in these, these
yeah.
testimonies. That's what I like to do. I just like, when they start telling me that they can't or that this is happening or it's not for them, I don't tell them yes it is or argue. I just be like, man, you wouldn't believe the story I heard the other day, and this guy came forward and he's been carnivore 4 months or whatever, and this happened. I just start going down the list of amazing true testimonies that we're hearing now, and all the examples that we're seeing, and I just that's all I do, and it's almost like you just got to keep planting those seeds, and then
Yeah, that's all it
just
is planting a seed. Yeah.
yeah,
But if you go too far into it, then they just switch their ears off and they don't
yeah,
want to hear. So you just have
yeah,
to gauge the people that you're speaking with. Some are more open to it than others. A lot of just have tunnel vision. I can't do. And I was like, yeah, well, I couldn't do back then either, but I can now and I'm loving it. So,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Just keep trying, keep listening, keep thinking about it, read more about it, learn more about it. It's crazy. I think we'll get through to them. I do. I
Oh,
think.
yeah. And look, watch this space. I will reach my goal weight
Yep.
soon. And
Exactly.
yeah, and they can do it too. But yeah, just got to want it bad enough, have their why, and be in that desperate place, I guess, to make that change and believe
Yeah.
in the process. Like, if you don't believe that carnival's going to fix it for you, you're not going to stick to it. But yeah, the community is fantastic. All the testimonials, people are sharing their stories now. I love listening to everybody's story, and just that motivates me to keep going. And it just proves that this is the right thing for us to be doing. So
For
how can
sure.
so many people be experiencing all these benefits and turning and reversing things around?
Yeah,
Just a
absolutely.
miracle.
Yeah, that's so true. And you know, I think it's just gonna get there's just gonna be so much evidence pretty soon here with everything coming to light, and people aren't so nervous to talk about it now because they're not worried about people calling them crazy for eating bacon and bites of taking bites out of butter and stuff.
I am a proud crazy carnivore, so they
Yeah,
can call me crazy if they like. I'm no crazier than anyone else. But yeah, no, I'm
yeah,
proud to wear that as a badge of honour. I'll be a crazy carnivore any day. I'm not going back to carb.
exactly.
So.
Yeah, for sure. And so, yeah, I think we're gonna see a real spike in it. Just from the testimonies and the people speaking out, and like just the steak and butter gang, and just here on YouTube, and the people you're seeing, the amount of channels that are growing and people telling their awesome stories. It's if people would get if our people, our friends and families and stuff would get into that circle and just be exposed to it, I think it's pretty contagious. I think we'll
Yeah.
get to them. So that's awesome. But yeah, your husband does your husband ever go on the Zoom calls at Steak and Butter Gang?
No, no, but he likes to listen to the YouTube videos. We always stream YouTube on the TV, and
Gotcha.
we'll sit there and watch them together. So, look, he knows all about carnivore. He feels amazing on carnivore, but those cravings are just still there, obviously. And usually, when he does have something off plan, he's like, didn't even enjoy that. I don't know why I had it. So he's so close,
He's
but
getting there.
something just keeps pulling him, and yeah, it's frustrating to watch because I can see that it does affect him when he has these things, and he has the reflux and
Yeah.
bloating, and his memory goes. He's snoring like a trooper at night. And when he's clean, no snoring, his mental clarity is so, yeah, it really affects his mental clarity when he's on carbs. And he gets less patient with himself, and yeah, that's not a nice thing to see and watch. And I just know him when he's doing well, and eating properly, he's just so much nicer to be around. So, and for him as well, he just seems a lot more happier. Um,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Well, I mean, we know the depression and anxiety. I just think, especially for guys, I don't think, I think people can be depressed and full of anxiety and they don't even know what it is. They just think they feel bad, they think they're just sick or whatever. I know that was, that was me for a long time until I realized it. Um, Enjoying steak and butter gang. Fuck, just
Oh
reading
God, it
the,
took me forever to, and I still don't post a lot in Steak and Butter Gang. I've only just started turning my camera on in the last couple of months, because I used to join the meetings with the camera off because I was too embarrassed to even turn it on. So, like in the challenges, but I'm now sort of opening up a lot more now, and I've posted a couple of pictures of myself, but I'm still shy. I still Yeah, I need to break out of that and open up. Look, I'm doing it live with you, Todd.
exactly.
Every
I was
time
gonna
I see
say,
you on a
I was
TV gang, I feel embarrassed or
yeah,
something.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
it seems like you're doing fine to me.
Those demons are still in my head, so I'm trying to break free of those. And yeah, it's a whole
For sure.
package, isn't it? Like, it's a lot of things that you need to work on, not just your diet and losing weight. It's
Yeah,
everything about you.
I quit the Copenhagen this week.
Yay!
That's
Good stuff.
that's been a rough one actually, but I'm going great guns. Raymond said if you have to go to your like bad habit carnivore foods, like for me, is like cheese, and I stopped drinking the bubbly sparkling waters. And he's like, till you get through the nicotine cravings, go ahead and have all the cheese and bubbly you want. Anything
Yeah,
to fill that void. So I've drinking, which these are just the lime. There's nothing in them other than lime and or lime. What do you call that? Uh, Essentially like the lime extract oils. I forget what you call them exactly, and sparkling water. So I've had two of those this week, which kind of shocked me. But it was so crazy is that's the first thing that I've had that wasn't just straight up tap water in 10 months, and that thing tasted like a friggin' Sprite or something. It was so sweet, and
yeah.
there's not any sugar or there's nothing artificial or anything. But for some reason, my brain thought that it was like a Sprite or something. It was so crazy.
Yeah, I find a lot of things are sweet now. If I go off plan, I haven't. I did go off plan on the weekend. We had my husband's parents came over for his birthday, a late birthday, and I did have a bit of my lunch that I made for everybody. And yeah, I didn't really enjoy it much. And I was straight back on the meat the next day, or the next meal for dinner. So I had my steak, and I'm being fine with that. But I didn't enjoy it. We had lasagna and a bit of cake, and I didn't enjoy any of it. I was like, oh God, I missed my steak at dinner
Right,
time. I only had a little bit of everything just to try it, and yeah, didn't want them to say anything.
right.
Um, yeah, definitely very strong now.
Yeah, totally. It's just that's why I just don't think when people, I keep getting comments and stuff going, stay in there, you can do this, and don't quit now and stuff. And I'm like, man, there's just in my head, I don't see a world where I could ever get pulled off of this right now. It's so much different because it's instead of trying to hang on, I actually don't see a world where I would ever not be carnivore right now because it's so easy. The benefits are so good. Uh toughest thing I've done in a long time is this priming, but the quitting chewing,
Yeah.
I'm saving this can because it's empty, but this was the last can of Copenhagen after 27 years, so I'm gonna save that one and put it in the memory vault there. But uh, it gave me a huge appetite quitting that, so that came in perfect timing for priming because now
Yeah.
because now I'm going through eggs and steak like it's like it's Skittles or something back in the day. So it's pretty crazy actually. It came in, but I was talking to Raymond. I'm like, man, maybe this Copenhagen this whole time was causing digestive problems and things, and I just never realized it.
Yeah, and I love the fact that you're having the cheese and the bubbly now, just to you're not going full on restricting everything and feeling like you've been deprived. You're having those little treats, and they're better options or better alternatives than having the Copenhagen. So,
Yeah,
and you can
actually,
eventually just cut
I
those
haven't
down
even
later.
I haven't even had the cheese yet. It's just it's in the back, it's in the chamber in case I need it.
Yeah,
I'm saving the cheese.
yeah,
I started with the bubbly just to something. And the reason why I really did that, I wasn't even feeling really compelled to, but I love Jordan Peterson. I'm a huge Jordan Peterson fan. And he always talks about being very, very careful when you take something that was that long and that big of a habit. He said it's going to create a void, and you got to have a
yeah,
plan for what you're going to fill that void with, because don't leave it up to chance. Don't just leave it up to whatever willy-nilly is going to fill that void. You want to have a purpose for that new place that you've opened up, and you got to put something in there. And I was like, so right now, when it's stupid, but I'm putting vitamin C in my lip when I feel like I need to chew. And I'm like, well, whatever. I'm gonna use vitamins. Kind of like when I was using the carb cravings and I would eat steak and then I start craving the steak. I'm like, maybe I can just put a vitamin C in there and drink a sparkly water. And it's just something I'm trying to fill that void so that nothing creeps in. Like I don't feel like anything's creeping in right now. I am a little bit irritable right now. Like I'm a little extra irritable, a little edgy, little bit stressed out. So I'm just trying to find something, but I haven't. I'm saving cheese for like the really big problem that I might have with it, because cheese was like cheese is my number one favorite carnivore food, and that's why I never eat it, because I eat way too much of it, no
yeah.
matter
It's
what I
hard to
do.
moderate, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm the same. I only have it for special occasions. We'll buy some cheese. We've got guests or whatever, but not day to day for me.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's exciting. I think we got a few questions here we can go take a look at. Let's see here.
Did you start with ribeyes exclusively, so the taste is the best right away while you don't have the momentum, or use cheaper cuts at the beginning too? I don't. Sorry, my voice is going. Um, we have porterhouse steak here in Australia. I don't know what that is. I think it might be New York strip for you guys.
Yeah,
Um,
yep.
and I
It's on one
is
side, I
that
think it's actually the tenderloin of the porterhouse, and on the other, it's the New York strip or the strip loin, I think.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. The cuts sort of confuse me between the two countries. So yeah, we do porterhouse here, only because when the butcher cuts it, they're just a nice 250-gram size, and they're just easy to put in the air fryer. They wrap it to per container, so it's just convenient for us. And that's what I live off mostly. I don't do ground beef very often. I find it's very dry for me. I just don't enjoy it. So that's my go-to. And I like beef ribs as well. That's always a favourite. So um, I don't do much chicken. I'm a crazy bird lady, so I don't like birds, eating birds. That's a mental thing. Um, and pork, I find makes me feel a bit nauseous sometimes. So I love a pork belly, but I do feel a little bit squirmish after eating it. So yeah, just the porterhouse and the beef ribs are my go-tos really. So, and I just went straight into that. I don't do the processed meats, the salamis and things like that. I keep those for special occasions as well. But I just try and keep it clean and simple. I just love the simplicity of it. I don't
Totally.
need lots of colours and flavours and textures, and just give me a steak and a couple of egg yolks here and there, and I'm happy.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I started on ground beef, and I got quickly extremely sick of ground beef. Right now, I don't think I've had ground beef in 6 months, and I'm still not craving ground beef. I'm so tired of dried out ground beef. It was fine when I was putting taco seasoning in it when I was ketovore, but man, when I wasn't putting any seasoning on it, it's just so dry. And then I was, for budget reasons and stuff, I was doing Costco's sirloin steaks, and those are pretty dang good. Their prime sirloin steaks, you get like good amount of steak for like $50, like, a few days, 3 or 4 days worth of steak for $50. And but it's such a lean cut of meat, I wasn't getting the fat that I needed, but you can add uh, butter and things to it. But then I found the strip, the New York, called the strip loin roast at Costco right now. In my area, it's fantastic because like ribeyes like 18.75 a pound where I'm at, and I can get the New York strip loin in a roast, the New York strip steak in a roast. I can get it for $8.58 a pound. And
Mm-hmm.
so I literally go and you get like a 16, 17 pound roast at a time, and I'll go buy five of those, chop them into steaks, vacuum seal them, put them in the freezer, and just go ham on those things because
Yeah.
they are wonderful. And and then I'll buy like three or four of those, cut them all into steaks, and then I get like one prime rib roast, which is still $18 a pound. And then I'll eat like two or three rib or New York strips steaks, and then I'll have one ribeye.
Yeah.
I go kind of that way to make it last, and it's good. And look, steaks are more expensive for sure, but me and many people have talked about this. In the long run, you do save money because you don't snack, you don't have all these coffees and sugars and chips and candy bars and sodas and all this stuff. And then it even goes into crazier areas because you stop buying like allergy medication. You get off medication. You save your medication stuff. You stop buying like antacids and Tums and Pepto Bismol. And then what's even crazier is I use like it's funny to say, but I use like 25% of the toilet paper that I used to use because you're not going to the bathroom all the time because you're not sick anymore. And if you couple that on with like the days of work that you'd no longer miss for being sick and things like that, and it's hands down cheaper to be carnivore and be healthy by a long shot.
Mm. It's definitely expensive when you're priming and having 3 meals and snacks a day like we are at the moment. But
That's a
when you're
fact.
just doing it normally, like I was doing either OMAD, 1 meal a day, or 2 meal a day. So you're not having 3 meals a day. So you're not eating as much as you would normally anyway. So it does. I bought a car. I've saved up enough for a deposit for a brand new car by going carnivore. I couldn't do that on a carb diet. So
Yeah.
it works. Yeah, it's definitely a huge saving. We had no savings, and now I've managed to buy myself a car. So
Yep.
yeah, that proves that it's not. It is. It does look like it's a lot when you're buying just meat. The amount, like we spend like sometimes $400 worth of meat every fortnight, but we were spending that in a week
Yeah.
just doing the carb shopping and all the other stuff and veggies that most of it got thrown in the bin anyway. And then you have your Uber and stuff on top of that. So yeah, we're saving a lot of money.
Yeah, I don't even want to say the number that, that my DoorDash and Instacart orders came to every month before I started doing carnivore. It was a nice house payment what I was spending on that crap because I was such a carb addict. And so yeah, I eat ribeye steaks and New York steaks, and right now I'm eating 36 eggs a day, so I'm buying 21 dozen eggs every week, which is
Yeah, that's because you're
insane.
priming. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah, from
so
the
when you're on,
priming.
yeah, so when
Yeah,
you
when I
start
wa
into
yeah,
naturally intermittent fasting, it all slows down. Then you don't eat as much, and you're happy. You're not
no,
feeling like you're restricting, or you're just living
no.
life.
Yeah, so it's gonna average out, like, right? Like, did you see
Yeah.
that Instagram post that I put of that last Costco haul I had with all the
Yeah.
roasts? Yeah, so I
Yeah.
thought that was gonna last me like 2.5 months, but then when I started priming after I got that. I'm down to 4 steaks. I ate that whole table of meat. I
Yeah.
was like,
So
oh no.
priming is you're obviously malnourished. We've been malnourished for such a long time. We had so much weight on us, but we were the most malnourished people in the world. So now that we're sort of more nourished and those cravings are going, and it does, priming just fixes all those, you know, puts all that nourishment back in your body. You feel great afterwards. So yeah.
For sure. Here we go. We got another one.
I tried Carnivore first twice in 3 weeks. Can't get past the third day. I start to make fast bathroom trips on the third day, and it's 12 to 16 in a 24-hour period. I lived on the toilet for the first probably 6 months. I don't have a gallbladder, so any fat that I had would just literally eat, and I'd have to run to the loo, the toilet. So that was a big issue, and that just kind of fixed itself up over time. Like, what's more important? Stay the way I was and continue eating my carbs, or just have to visit the toilet a little bit more often? I mean, yeah, you just have to weigh up and trust the
Yeah.
process that you're going to get past that eventually, with or without a gallbladder. So you just got to get that fat adaptation happening, and that's going to take time. So don't have rendered fats if you drain the liquid fat off, because that is really bad. That just makes you go straight to the toilet. Obviously, if
Y-
you're constipated, it's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely stay off the rendered fats, and just gradually just cut back on the fats and just slowly add it back to your diet. Every week, just add a little bit more until you get more fat adapted.
Yeah, and definitely that's great advice. Like I never heard about eating the cold fat, like cold butter and cold
Mm,
beef fat, until I got on Steak and Butter Gang, and I tried that because I was very sensitive to rendered fat, and if I had to play it real close, because if I ate too much of the fat on a ribeye, it might ruin my afternoon, and I had to be real careful of that. And then I heard that and I was like, I'm gonna try that. So I stopped eating the fat on the ribeye for a little bit, and I started eating cold butter to supplement my fat, for the ribeye. And I'll be danged if that cold butter didn't make me more tolerant to even rendered fat. It was like it helped my gut, constitute for more fat. And so, where before it was just like a shock to it, this actually, by eating cold butter, and kind of easing into the rendered fat, and I still pay attention not to get too much rendered fat, but not only is the cold fat way easier to metabolize and not have that problem with, it also seemed to give me a higher tolerance for the rendered fat that I do get into, like, and occasionally having bacon or the ribeye fat. That was an amazing tip for me. So um
mm.
I would
And I
definitely
find
try.
eating the protein first and then follow it up with the fat later as well. So your body's sort of digesting the protein, and then it's not just straight fat that comes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and
prioritize protein, then eat the fat afterwards for dessert.
And I was having those same problems for a long time, and I had to not drink anything 45 minutes before I would eat, not drink anything for 45 minutes after I would eat. And then I
Mm.
would do full on, like, 2-ounce shots of apple cider vinegar right before I would eat. And that vinegar, just like you can use it to clean the grease off your counter or make a mayonnaise because it emulsifies fat. And so if you take that, it'll break down and it'll bond fat to, liquid particles, and then your stomach will break down that fat quicker, instead of going, I don't know what to do with this, send it out. you because that's essentially what's happening. So but I would definitely play with it. Also, you could have a blocked up gallbladder, and they make bile salts and ox bile that helps quite a lot, until your gallbladder starts functioning a little bit better. Those are just little things that helped me kind of through that.
Mm.
Let's see. Next.
I started my diet in June, down 102 pounds. Yay! Low carb, and the those carbs are green veggies, all lean meat, salmon, chicken, steak, and I eat twice a day between 12 and 5 p.m. Great job on the weight loss. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
102 pounds. Yeah.
Salmon, chicken, steak. Yeah, great work. Keep up the good work.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here.
Have either of you experienced a huge energy surge when switching to carnivore? Sometimes I have a really hard time winding down to sleep and I often wake up too early to start my day. I've never been a good sleeper anyway. I don't need much sleep. But it's even worse now. Yeah, I really don't need a lot of sleep. I get up, I bounce out of bed, definitely have a lot more energy. I'm not passing out throughout the day anymore. But I love it. I love having more time in my day to do things. And I'm more productive now. I get a lot done. Yeah, just people that need 8 hours sleep. I need 4 or 5 hours, and I'm good to go. So I'm happy with that change.
That is an absolute fact, and same here. First of all, I never slept good before, anyways, because I think I had sleep apnea was the main cause of it, but also because I was eating sugar and had caffeine. I would never get into REM sleep, and then it just felt like I was never in REM sleep forever, and so I would have to be in bed 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day just to try to function. But there was no sleep. I would get up and I'd fight back and forth, but I was tired all the time before. Now, like it's weird. If I'm really, really, really tired, I'll get to sleep about 5 hours, and maybe six on a huge day. Like if I get 6 hours of sleep now, that's huge. But I wake up more rested than I did when I was trying to sleep 12 hours a day. Like my head pops off the pillow and I am wide awake. But God forbid, what usually happens, just like yesterday night, no, not last night, but the night before, was a prime example. I had a big day and I was tired by like 9:30, and I'm like, I'm going to bed a little bit early tonight. And I went to bed and I woke up at midnight, never went back to bed. It was over. I could not sleep. Like I knew it was happening to me, and I laid there. I was like, "Oh God, no! Go back to bed. Go back to bed. Go back to bed. This just don't wake up." I was trying not to let my brain wake up. As soon as my brain woke up, it was like 12:45. I laid there for 45 minutes. I decided to throw the covers off, and I was like, "Let's go!" And I, just got up, and that was it. And I was fine. Just crazy energy from basically midnight that night all the way through. I think I finally went to bed at like 9:30 the next night, and then because I only had 2 hours of sleep that night, I slept for five and woke up full of energy. So it's a totally different deal. So yeah, you're not alone on that. That is one thing. I don't know what to think about sleep, but I'm not mad about it because I have so much more energy when I do wake up. It's I'm fine with it.
And yeah, it's like you jump out of bed and you're ready to start your day. It's not like you're scraping yourself out of bed and it's just you're not looking forward to the day ahead. It's like just go, 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 go. That feeling is amazing. Yeah, you just want to start your day.
Totally, yeah. I mean, it's so funny. And Cosette, my dog, likes it because I'm no longer a bump on the log trying to sleep 12 hours a day. We wake up in the morning, she's like, "Oh, we're going to play catch. Let's do this." She's just a ball of energy, and now I get to match her energy first thing in the morning. You're right. It's a great day. Let's go. You know, it's it's
I
kind of
think my
funny.
dog. I think my dog's got dementia. Bella, she's 16 years old. She's a little Shih Tzu cross Bichon, and if I wake up early, she wants to be fed. Like she prances around like a little lamb. Like,
Yeah.
feed me, feed me. So I feed her, and then my husband will wake up, and she prances around like a little lamb. Feed me, and he'll go and feed her. And then my daughter, like she forgets that she's eaten, and she starts growling at you. It's like you haven't fed me yet. So yeah, getting up early. That's my only negative. Getting up
Yeah.
early
Well,
because I
that and
think
your
she hasn't
dog's
eaten
like, that and your dog's like, she thinks I have dementia. Let's keep this going. I
yet.
forget
Probably.
that I ate. That's too funny. Uh,
I've got family ringing. Be back later if you're both still on. Keep up the great video. So yeah, that's Keith, Kiwi Carnival Keith. He's from SBG gang. He's awesome.
right on.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll definitely see. Yeah. Let's see here. What's
Todd, what
harder?
is the harder, quitting carbs or quitting tobacco?
Sugar. I've already said this like a dozen times, but I'm not joking. I had a gambling problem at one time in my life. I was addicted to caffeine. I used to smoke for like 6, 7 years. I was smoking 2 packs a day. No, hands down, sugar was the hardest thing that I've ever had to quit in my life. Soda addiction, hands down, worst habit I've ever had. The one that just had me in a headlock. Yeah, it's not even close. I mean, you know, I'm trying to think. I mean, honestly, right now I'm 2.5 days into the Copenhagen deal, and I don't know. It doesn't reach a 10 on like the worst, or it doesn't reach like a 2 on the top 10 bad days I had on sugar withdrawal. So it's not even close. Yeah, sugar is so much worse.
What's the secret to cooking steak in the air fryer? Mine come out grey and rubbery.
For the biggest secret, my pro tip here is you got to dry your steaks off. So you got to leave it out at room temperature, and then you have to pat them dry with a paper towel, because if there's any moisture on the outside, that's going to turn to steam, and steam is going to boil your steak on the surface of your steak, and then you're going to get a boiled steak, which is gray, dry, and rubbery. And then you want to cook it at a high temperature, but for a low period of time, and you have to flip them. So, like, if I'm doing an inch and a quarter, like 1.5 pound uh, New York strip steak, I'm going to do that for roughly 7.5 minutes on each side on high setting on the air fryer. But you got to pat it down, get it to room temperature, pat it dry, and then put salt on it and let that salt absorb in for about 15 minutes. And then it's going to be so golden brown, juicy, perfect. It's amazing. What's your tips, Lindy?
Oh, I'm really lazy. I literally pull mine out of the freezer, stick it in the Ninja frozen, turn it on, and the preheat it goes for 10 minutes, I think, the preheat. So that kind of thaws it out as it's heating. When it beeps at me, I flip the steak over and cook it for another 2.5 minutes. Perfect. Because I like mine, I don't like it overcooked. I like it really, yeah, mooing kind of. I like
Yeah,
it
I was
blue.
gonna say, yeah, we call that blue here when it's so
Yeah.
raw that it's blue.
So yeah, I find dry meat gets stuck because I've still got that lap band restriction. So I need to have the moisture in the meat. So anything overcooked, like the minced ground beef, I just can't eat it. I just get stuck, and it just makes me want to be sick. So I have to have it fairly, yeah, not overcooked. So yeah, just freeze, yeah, in the. It's so easy, straight out of the freezer in the air fryer. 10 minutes on the preheat. Flip it for 2 minutes. Done. Easy.
I'm way more
So
picky than that. Way more
yeah,
picky.
look, it's not important to me. Like I think it tastes really good.
Yeah,
Maybe somebody, one of you guys can cook me a nice steak one day so I can see what I'm missing out on. But like for me, I'm enjoying it, and it's not important food to me anymore. I
right.
eat it because I'm hungry, and I get over it, and then I go and live my life and do whatever I need to do. So food's not an important part of my life anymore. Before it was always one of the yummy snacks and the yummy treats, and it was always sweet. And I just don't have any of that, and I don't care for it anymore. So yeah, I just eat my steak, and I'm enjoying it, and that's all that matters, really.
Right.
Get it over and done with.
That's funny. Let's see here. Next one.
Karen, we eat hamburgers twice a week. I usually have ground beef on Fridays too. I need to find something to up my game on the ground beef. Yeah, look, a lot of people use spices. I personally don't, because I can't read the labels without my glasses, and I never have my glasses on if I'm cooking, so I don't know whether there's sugars and stuff in there. So I just keep the salt. I do make I get a tray and I grab my ground beef and I just throw in a couple of eggs, salt it, and I squish it down like a flat slice, if you like. Stick it in
Yeah.
the oven, and then cut it up into little squares. And I prepare that for my husband, and he has that for lunch, like as a snack. He really loves that. So I
Mm.
guess you could call them like a meat cookie because they're The cut's quite small. Um, and they're just nice to have cold straight out of the fridge for us just to top up if you're feeling a bit peckish as well. So
Yeah, my only way that I eat ground beef now is I fry it, but then I also as soon as I fry it kind of like it's taco meat, right? And I chop it up, but then I take and I add kettle and fire bone broth to it, the beef broth, and then I boil that beef broth and get the fat up, and then I add xanthan gum to make it like a beef and gravy. That's the only way I really like it, is like a beef and dark gravy. I'll eat quite a bit of it then, but I got to have that now because steak is just so much juicier. you know, the ground beef is just so dry. Like I
yeah.
don't know, I can't get on board on it. Sometimes, what do they call that, frog raw or whatever? Like when you have like what is that called? I think it's frog raw, where it's like raw, just raw ground beef and onions. Like,
Oh, I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah.
something like
Okay.
that. I'm to the point where I think I'd almost rather have raw ground beef than cooked ground beef because it gets so dry. So
Yeah.
let's see here.
I'm sick of ground beef too. I can do it in a meatloaf style with bacon in it. Ribeyes are expensive this time of year, so I do picanha or
Ooh,
chuck-pie.
yeah, yeah. So I
I don't
think
know what
in
picanha.
I think picanha. Oh, do you guys have picanha in Australia?
I haven't heard of that term before, so yeah.
I think what is that? That's a Brazilian's cut of steak, and basically it's a sirloin cap cut steak. It's actually kind of cut sideways, but I do like the picanhas. Those are tasty, and those are a good choice because it's like the drier sirloin, but it's got a nice fat cap on the edge, and it's
Mm,
tasty. Those are good for
okay.
sure. All right, let's see here.
And at least my husband Tom figured out that we are saving around 1,500 per month doing carnivore.
I
Yeah,
believe
I
it.
don't absolutely. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
It's not expensive when you think of all the things you're not buying now. I think that's the
exactly.
difference. Yeah.
All
If
of
you
the
think of
things, we tend to
yeah.
just think at it per meal, but just like Carrie at Homestead House says, he's like, the difference is I used to eat steak once in a while, but when I did, I would also go buy a potato and cheese and bacon and a side dish and some garlic bread and some garlic butter and all this other stuff. And that steak, he goes, now it's just a steak. And exactly right. I mean, my only really accoutrement to steak is eggs. Like that's it.
And
That's
another
all.
crazy savings we had is we get like the garbage bins and we had to order an extra recycling bin for all our takeout. So we
Yeah,
had like two humongous recycling bins. Well, we got rid of one of those bins. That's a less expense. We don't have to pay for the second recycling bin now. So,
exactly.
things like that. You wouldn't even think of that as being part of because we're carnivores, we don't need an extra recycling bin. So
No,
there's just
I
another
mean,
saving there.
I was on like $550 a month in medication that I don't take now. I was buying, over the counter medication too. I wasn't even counting in that aspirin, Advil, Aleve, NyQuil, antihistamines, Pepto-Bismol, Tums, just all these silly things that, because you just get used to being inflamed and getting sick all the time and dealing with sickness and having a runny nose and having a sore throat and Vicks Vapor Rub and throat spray and numbing this and all this stuff. And I just never use it anymore. Like it never comes up because none of those things are happening where I had eye drops and all this stuff. You don't need any of that crap. I used to buy Q-tips for my ears because my ears were always like running wax out of them, and that stopped. My teeth were bleeding all the time. That stopped. Like my teeth are just better and cleaner now. And it's just all the crazy things that were happening that don't end. Toilet paper's a real thing. Like, like I buy like one third or less of the toilet paper I used to buy. It's just all those things, you add them up. I don't know. I haven't put exact numbers to them, but I know just by what's left every week that didn't used to be left of my money. I know what's there, and it's significant for sure. Let's see. Okay, next one.
Lewis, to economize, cook cheap chopper cuts of beef for a long time in a slow cooker. Meat becomes tender and is delicious, and add tallow if cooking a lean cut. God, I love my brisket in a slow cooker, and I make it really soupy. So yeah, that's delicious,
Yeah.
and it feeds us for like 2 days, one
Yep.
roast. So yeah, hubby likes it the next day in his lunch as well. So definitely, yeah,
Yep.
definitely
That
a
is,
go-to there.
yeah, absolutely. And I don't know what those run you, but like, so brisket where I'm at is about $4.50 a pound. Chuck where I'm at's about $7 a pound. And then, like I said, these New York strip loin roasts are only like seven or 8.58 a pound. It's not much more than the chuck steak, which is incredible where I'm at from. That's like an incredible price. But yeah, I love the brisket. I just in the slow cooker, I just have to do a better job of trimming the fat on those. If you put all the fat in the slow cooker that come with those, boy, the way I got it, that thing was swimming in fat. Like it was, there was probably 3 inches of solid or liquid fat.
Um,
But,
so we don't have that problem. They cut all the fat off at the butcher. So
oh,
ours are really lean. I hate that. So luckily our butcher will, they have to trim it. I don't know why. It's like leave the fat on there for me, but he'll actually cut it off, put it in a bag and then send it to me free of
oh,
charge.
nice. You'd be
So
happy
that's
to see.
okay.
You well
Yeah.
that and that's actually, I mean, I get it, it sucks, but also depending on what it is per pound, they leave the fat on here because they want to charge you for the fat by the pound,
Right. Yeah.
and so they leave it on and it is thick. I mean, there's a fat cap that's an inch and a half thick over the whole thing. Like I don't know what you mean, I guess necessarily by brisket. Our briskets are like 20 some pounds a piece. Like they're
I'll
huge.
send you a link later to it. I don't look at prices. I need meat. That's all. I just buy.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not.
But yeah, let's see. But no, I definitely we've got 7 pounds of chuck steak in the slow cooker right now that I'm going to be looking forward to because I do love that. There's something about that slow cook and rendered meat and kind of a salty brothy gravy that is a really good breakup from steak for sure. Definitely agree there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I can't wait to get that much energy again.
It's
How long have you
coming.
been carnivore for,
Yeah.
Deborah? Yeah.
Yeah, Deborah, if you're here, let us know. That'd be a good topic too.
Sandra, I had lamb shanks slow cooked yesterday. Num 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 num. I haven't had lamb shanks. I have seen them, but do you do them in the slow cooker? I wouldn't even know how to cook them. So yeah, like I
I'm
said,
not sure
I'm
what a
very
shank is.
visual. I think it's like a leg or something. Part of. I know it's got a big bone in it, and it looks like
Oh,
a club, if you like.
okay.
I've
Yeah,
seen them, but
I
yeah.
guess we call them a leg of lamb here, but I didn't know that's what a lamb shank was. Yeah, I did a leg of lamb on what was that, Labor Day holiday. I did a leg of lamb and it was delicious. I cooked it just like you would slow cook a brisket or a chuck roast. It was funny because I
Mm.
opened it up and it says from Australia. And I was like, "You guys must do all the lamb," because I couldn't believe it came all the way from Australia to my Costco.
Yeah, we had a lamb roast the other day. It's nice change from beef if you want a nice
It is.
change. I found it still a little bit dry when I roast meat. I find it dry, but my husband loved it. He's like, "Oh, we need to have this more often." Like, yeah, no worries. I'll cook it for you. I probably won't eat as much. I'll just take the fatty bits off because he hates the
Yeah,
fat. So that works well for us. But yeah, definitely something you can put in his lunchbox for work,
it's
and he enjoys it. So.
it's delicious for sure.
I found cooking my steak in air fry from frozen. I get a juicy inside and a nice crusty outside. Exactly. Yeah. So to me, it tastes awesome. I love it that way. Definitely don't like dry and grey. So
For sure.
give it a go. Let us know how it goes. Give it a try.
Yeah, I did do it and I wasn't a fan, to be honest with you. After you told me that, I did it, and the reason why though is because you don't get the moisture off. So the outside does get more cooked, but also it's got more juice on it, so it didn't get like the golden brown. Like I like to drag my knife across it, and it should sound like really dry toast on the outside, and it just
Okay.
didn't do that because I was like, oh man, this doesn't like someday I'm gonna cook you a steak because I got those down pat. I got those down pat for sure. All right, let's see.
One day I'll come to the US and I'm going to go all over America trying everybody's steaks, and then I'll let you know who does the best steak. That's my bucket list.
That'd be a
Steak
fun.
from
We could
the
do a
US.
podcast on the road and go try all the steak.
Yeah, we grab a bus and just do a tour of the US, testing everybody's steaks. Yep,
That'd be
that's on
fun.
my bucket list.
Do you guys actually, you know how in America there's a chain restaurant called Outback Steakhouse and it's supposed to be an Australian steakhouse?
Never heard of it. Never heard of it.
There's a famous big chain and they're an Australian themed steakhouse in America. They're called the Outback. And it's
Oh,
a
okay.
yeah, you'll have to look it up. It's pretty funny and they have like like Australian commercials, but it's clearly they're I didn't think you guys actually had them because it's clearly a
No.
marketing scheme. But
Do you have
but
one near your place? Or do you have one near your place?
yeah, we do.
All
It's
right. Well, I want a video from there. I want you to go there, order a steak, and film it for us. I want a
I
video.
they're terrible steaks. Like, but to be honest with you, most steaks are around now in restaurants. Since I've been doing carnivore, it ruined all the steaks for me because now I realize they're just overpriced, poorly cooked meat. Um,
Hey, yeah.
theirs was no different. But I just remember I went in there and it's like they make the servers or something have almost half fake Australian dialect like accents. It's kind of funny. So it's comical just to do it. They're famous for the blooming onion. Those back in my carbohydrate days, the blooming onions are pretty good there. But
Okay.
uh, but yeah, they're like I ordered a ribeye and they're like, how do you want it cooked? And I'm like, rare, and I mean really rare. And she's like, what do you mean? And I'd ordered a ribeye and broccoli. I said, if that steak ain't trying to eat the broccoli off the plate on the way out here, you overcooked it. I remember I was thinking about that earlier when you said how you want it mooing, but I was like, yeah, I wonder if they have Outback Steakhouses in Australia. Um, let's see. Deborah, a question. Copenhagen is chewing tobacco, so you put it in your lip and nicotine soaks into your lip. I've been doing that since I was just a teenager, and it's time to kick the habit.
Yay.
Oh, and I got chewed out the other day, so you got to tell me if I'm doing this because I know I have ADD brain and I talk all the time. And this woman said, "You got to shut up and let the other lady talk more." That's exactly what she said in the comments. I'm like, duly noted. This is by an accident. I get excited.
No, I love you talking. Don't ever stop. How much weight have you guys lost this week? I've actually been priming the last 2 weeks, which so having 3 meals a day, and I've just been hovering. I haven't lost and I haven't gained, just sort of hovered, been very consistent. So um, I'm 134 kilos at the moment. I have to get. Can you work that out? Do you know all
Let
that
me
stuff?
see.
I'd have to Google
I
it.
can find it.
So I think it's around 293 pounds. That's what I've been the last 2 weeks, just hovering point two, point four all week.
Yep, that's 295.49 or 419
There
pounds.
you
So
go.
295.5 basically.
That's what I
Um,
am now.
I don't know what I am this week because honestly it's been busy and I hate the scale because I can fluctuate with fluid in a day or two and if I do that it drives me nuts. So I try not to even weigh but once a month or once every 6 weeks usually. But I'm priming just like Lindy, so Raymond wanted me to kind of pay a little bit more attention to it. So I can't tell you what I was in like the last 7 days because I really wasn't paying attention to it, but I have been paying attention to the first 2 weeks of priming. And what was crazy was I ate over 110,000 calories in that 2 weeks. And at the end of it, I had lost 8.5 pounds. So if that doesn't blow the calorie deficit, calorie thermodynamic hypothesis right out of the water, I don't know what does, because I was eating 3.5 times or 2.5 times more food every day than I was for the previous 10 months. And I lost more weight than I had been on average in the previous 10 months. So it's
Yeah.
craziness. It really is.
Yeah, it's hard because I was expecting to put on a lot of weight with priming because only eat 1 or 2 meals a day. Now I'm doing 3 meals. So the fact that I've actually stayed the same and consumed a lot more food kind of threw me. I was prepared to put on a bit of weight because I know it's just going to fall off when I start the fasting, which I'll start probably in 2 days' time when I hand over my job. Then I'm free. So that's
That's
when I
awesome.
start looking at doing all my getting really stuck into my health kick. So I'll start the fasting protocol once I hand over my job. So I'll just keep priming for the next 2 days and then, yeah, I expect it to come off quickly in the next few weeks. So
That's awesome.
no gallbladder. James, no gallbladder, face blue, wide eyed. How did they find them and what did they tell you? I suspect it has to do with oxalate issue. I'm 26 and I have them too, but I feel still fine with them laying on the floor. I used to be in so much pain. I didn't know what I had gallstones at the time. Um, yeah, went to the doctor and they're like, did the ultrasound. I was like, yeah, you got gallstones, it's got to come out. And I was 25 years old, so 25 years ago, whipped it out. But yeah, I didn't know what the pain was, and I put up with it for quite a while until it got to the point it was unbearable. I couldn't sleep at night. I'd sit in front of the heater with the heat blaring on my back just to try and get rid of some of that pain. It was an awful feeling. Um, but I think Dr. Berry says what happens is that the sludge in the bile turns into sludge in your gallbladder and crystallizes, and that's what gives you all that pain. And you need to eat the fat to break up that sludge, and then they'll eventually pass. It dissolves the crystals, and they'll eventually pass. But if you can sort of eat more fat, I guess, and try and fix it naturally and not have to go to resort to removing the gallbladder, that would be awesome. But yeah, we're not
Totally.
doctors. We're just definitely look up Dr. Ken Berry and look at his videos and see what he has to say and see if that can work for you. Maybe discuss it with your doctor as well. But it'd be good if you could keep your gallbladder. I wish I had mine now that I know what I know. I definitely would have given it a go.
What
Um,
altitude am I at? I am at I think I'm at about 6,000 feet, so I'm a little bit higher than a mile. So we're not too far off, but 7,500 feet is pretty high for sure. Um, yeah, so I couldn't tell you there, but we're not too far off in elevation. I would definitely try, I would definitely try patting it dry, and then if you're still having problems not getting the outside crispy enough and it's rubbery, first of all, if the steak is thin, you're gonna have a rubbery steak no matter what. Because if the steak is too thin, it's just gonna overcook. You got to have enough steak in the center to where you can get the outside crispy without overcooking the center into an oblivion of dried out meat. So you need like a steak that's at least an inch, in my opinion, and I like an inch and a quarter thick steak, and it's got to be a pretty hefty steak, and then I like if you want to, I'll do a double preheat on my air fryer sometimes so it gets really, really hot in there so that I get an extra good sear without cooking. You want to cook it fast so you get this really good searing on the outside without drying out the inside, definitely. But and then and also if it's dry, people don't do this. For however long you cook it, let's say you cook it 7 minutes on each side, so it's 14 minutes total cook. You have to let it rest for 7 minutes because the fibers in the meat have to cool off and then they'll reabsorb their own juices back into the meat. If you cut into it right then, when all the fiber is extra hot, it's going to be the fibers and the proteins are going to be super tense. It pushes out all the juice, and then it's really dry and rubbery too. Like if you cut into the steak too soon, it'll bleed all the juice out. So makes a huge deal. So however long you cooked it, you got to wait half that amount of time at least to let it rest before you cut into it. And I mean, don't even take a fork and like stab your steak to flip it or pull it out. Use some pinchers, because if you penetrate that steak with a fork and you ruin that crust, you're gonna watch it bleed all your juicy, wonderful steak juice out on your plate. So use some pinchers to pick it up. Don't stab it with anything. Put it on a cutting board and then let it rest. And then, if you so choose to, cut against the grain when you're slicing it in nice little slices, and that'll also make it more tender for sure. Okay.
Oh, too hard for me. I just eat it.
I'm going to make you a steak someday. I guarantee you like it.
Love it. Thought I was the only one. I live on frozen steak. Loads of freezers when the steak goes on special. Oh, it's just
I,
so more
f-
convenient. Yeah,
I
I love
feel an
it.
intervention coming
No,
for
you
steak
do
abuse.
what works for you, but for me, I just love the
I know.
simplicity of it. Less
I know.
dishes, less fuss.
I know.
Mm.
I feel like PETA for I wanna start a support group for abuse steaks that are being mistreated.
Thanks for the air fryer steak tips. I also use the grill option. I don't actually use the air fryer option in my air fryer because the
Mm,
grill is hotter. It
yeah,
seems to be hotter and doesn't take as long. Again,
for sure.
quick fix here. So definitely, I use the grill option, and it works well for me. So that might be the difference between my steak and yours, Todd.
Yeah, absolutely.
Herb,
Those are better.
Herbalina, ground beef meatloaf, meatballs, either air fry, either Italian seasons with parmesan or Mexican seasons with shredded cheese. Sounds too good to me. I'd
Yeah,
probably binge eat those. Yeah, but yeah, definitely something for if we have visitors or something. I'd definitely do all that. Yum.
sounds delicious, but it sounds too delicious.
Yeah, I just don't like I wouldn't be able to moderate yummy
No,
things
me
like that.
either. Yeah, you start putting things like cheese and seasonings on things, and you're gonna see Big T in full Big T form again.
Yeah. Pat, don't know what's wrong with me. I don't want ground beef, chicken, or anything unless it's a ribeye or beef ribs. Nothing wrong with that. You just gotta
Nothing, Pat. You
what
are you are red-blooded man. That's what I said. Good on you.
Yeah, no, I love enjoy my steak, my porterhouse, and I change things up sometimes. I'm like, why do I do that? I just go back to my steak. Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
No, for sure not. No, I'm right there with you. I don't do any chicken. Chicken makes me feel bad. I'm right there. Like this is like kind of like a cardinal carnivore sin, but I'm pretty much getting to the point where I'm not going to eat bacon anymore, just because it's not that makes me feel terrible, terrible. I just feel so good on beef. It's like, why do I want to, what I'm going to pick between two things, and they're both going to be meat and they're both going to be delicious. And one of them's going to make me feel great. And one of them's just going to kind of make me feel like meh. So
Mm,
I just want to eat the beef lately. I crave it.
yeah, beef tartare. That's what it is. That's the raw beef that you were talking about, the mince beef tartare.
Really?
You're eating raw mince? Yeah,
Oh, beef
I don't
tartare. Okay,
tartare.
tar.
You,
I was
you had
thinking
frog in there or something.
like tartar sauce tartar, but yeah, beef tartare. Yep, that's correct.
Yeah,
Yep. That's what I was trying to say. Yep. I
see, you knew what we
appreciate
were
that.
talking about.
Yeah. You knew what we were when I definitely didn't know what I was saying.
Oof, foie
Oh,
gras. Is that what you is
yeah,
goose
frog
liver?
eyes. Yeah. Okay. That actually
So
sounds
that'd be
better
like a
than raw
pate,
beef.
would it? Would that be like a pate or something?
I guess so. Pate meaning basically a pasted meat.
Mm,
I
foie
think
gras. I
so.
haven't. I'm not a foodie person, so
I'm not either. I was just trying to think of that, but that's I
Yeah.
actually the goose liver sounds better than the raw beef in my opinion. All right. Let's see.
Crypto carnivore eliminated LMNT since I started craving it since it's flavored. Tried unflavored, it tastes like seawater, just can't do it. Get leg cramps intermittently. Any suggestions on non-liquid alternative?
I've never tried the I've never tried the element water, but I do the Dr. Berg's powder. I don't know if you can see that because my camera's got the furry background thing on it. But it's Dr. Berg's electrolyte powder, and it does have a little bit of stevia in it. But it's kind of perfect for me because it is sweet, but I actually don't like the taste of it at all. But I know what you mean. When I drink all the other electrolytes, they taste like a fish tank, fish water, and I can't stand them. And I kind of like this because it's a sweet flavor that I don't like, so I actually just kind of have to choke it down. It's tolerable, but I don't like it, so it doesn't give me any cravings because I don't like the taste of it, to be honest with you. The best one that he has, because he's got many, many flavors. I buy this one particularly because it's the cheapest one. It's an extra large canister of it, but he only has that in like two flavors, the extra large canister. The other ones he has in smaller packs, but my favorite flavored one is actually the grape, and it's not because it tastes good, it's because it's the one that tastes the least like anything. It just doesn't have much of a taste at all to it. And so that's the one that I prefer to use, but you can definitely try that. It got me off of soda with the lemonade drink that I was making it with, but it got me off soda. It got my mom off of soda. And now my sister and her husband's been drinking it, and she's almost completely off of drinking anything sweet. She's just down to like black iced coffee now, and it's like she's off of Diet Coke and all that stuff now too. So there's something to it for sure.
I drink. I don't like the crown sweetened ones either. I find it just makes me crave and want more. If I finish one, I have to have another one because I just enjoy the flavour so much. So I do the raw LMNT. I like them in hot water. So I just boil the kettle, and my cup is a bit bigger than a normal mug. It's like almost double the size. So I just fill it up with hot water, throw my LMNT in. They're all flavoured, and sometimes I'll just pop a lemon slice in there. We've got some dehydrated lemons my daughter gave me. I bought them from a shop, so and just put one slice in there, and it just takes some of the edge off the yeah, and also because it's so diluted, it's not a small mug, it's a lot of water, and I'll sip on that for an hour or two. So, and that seems to work for me. So
That makes
yeah, just add more water, dilute it a little bit more.
that makes really good sense.
Do yourself a favour, Todd, and get a bidet. You will sure be glad you did. Then you won't buy it.
Oh man, we're getting uptown fancy now. you know, that's funny you say that, but you got to realize that I'm not even joking. I worked when I was, and I guess I was 12 or 13 years old. I worked in a town called Gardner, Montana, wiring a Motel 6 in Gardner, Montana, and we stayed in a camper on the Yellowstone River, and there was an original like 19 or 18 like 98 outhouse there that we used all summer. So when I was a kid, we actually used a real outhouse for quite a while job. So I mean, to actually get a bidet, you're talking about some high class living there.
I think they call them thunderboxes here in Australia. The
What are they
outhouse
called?
is a thunderbox.
I like that way better. I'm gonna use that one. Oh, that's funny.
Did either of you still on carnivore? Yeah, a few times. And I just find changing your diet up a little bit, whether you do a little bit of fasting or actually increasing my food. Broke a stall once when I was having one meal a day. I just stalled right out. So I started eating 2 or 3 meals, and that broke the stall. So I think your body gets used to the pattern that you're in. So you need to keep changing things up a little bit. So that definitely helped me. How'd you go?
Yeah. Yeah. Every time that it happened, I would go back to my old, calorie restrictive mindset, and I would think, "Oh boy, I got to cut down the calories." And you know what? It's happened. Like I'm currently going through it. That's why I'm doing priming right now, because I could feel that I was stalling out, and I'd done it 2 times before. And you know what? Both those times before, I fought it and was cranking down the calories, was eating less, and I was down to like 1,400 calories a day. And both times when I finally threw in the towel and ate more, that's what pulled me out of both of those stalls. It's crazy. I had to go from the first time it happened, went from 1,700 calories a day. I dropped it to 1,400 calories because I thought surely this is a problem. Then I was really hungry, and then my brain finally kicked in and said, "Well, maybe we got to eat. Maybe that's the problem." And I pumped. I just let my body eat whatever it wanted. Coincidentally enough, it ended up eating like 36 to 3,800 calories a day, and I only had to do that for like a week, and then the weight started falling off again, and that was good for a couple of months, really. And
Mm,
then it happened to me again, right around Labor Day this year, and I got some T-bones. I was just craving T-bones for some reason, and I bought like 12 T-bones, thick cut T-bones, and I ate one morning, and I usually only eat one steak a day, and I do OMAD, and I ate one of these steaks, and I was just starving the rest of the day. I wanted another T-bone so bad. I was just thinking about the steak. I'm like, what is going on? And again, I was like, well, I'm just going to go to bed and it'll go away. And I woke up in the morning and I was still thinking about T-bones. So I was just like, hey, I ain't craving pizza. I'm craving T-bones. So fine. And I just let it go off the rails, and I ate 6 T-bones that day. And then I had to order more T-bones, and I ended up eating 6 T-bones every day for 3 days in a row. And then after I came through that, weight started dropping like a fly again. Like my body wanted something at that period of time. I'd gotten something was going on. I don't know what it was, but every time I've done it, the answer for me was eating more steak, more food.
yeah.
Let's see.
James, why did they remove your gallbladder, Lindy? I'm 26 and I've got some stones there. I suspect it's due to oxalate problem, but I deal fine with them laying on the floor whenever it starts hurting. Yeah, look, it was 25 years ago, and they just did the ultrasound, said you've got gallstones, and sent me to hospital, and they took it out. But like I said, knowing what I know now, I would not have had it taken out. They just said that you don't need your gallbladder; it's a spare part in your body. That's what I was told. But now I realise that the bile is used to help with the fat absorption, and that's why I struggled, really a lot with it when I started carnivore because I couldn't absorb any of the fat, and different foods kind of make me feel a bit nauseated. So definitely binge watch some of Ken Berry's videos. If you just type Dr. Ken Berry gallbladder, I think he's got several videos, and just watch those, and you'll be surprised to learn. Just how important that little gallbladder is. So if you can try and just sort of deal with it and eat the extra fat, I think he says, and I think that you can have ox bile, like Todd mentioned as well, things like that, to try and get you through and start dissolving those gallstones and save your gallbladder. That would be my recommendation. But yeah, like if the pain's way too bad, I mean, you definitely need to see your doctor as well. And it is what it is, isn't it? But yeah, try and fix it naturally if you can.
Yeah, for sure. I got a comment today that when they heard I was doing 36 eggs a day to boost my testosterone, they said, somebody said 36 eggs a day, holy crap, have you heard of TRT, testosterone replacement therapy? And it was kind of the same thing. I was like, I did, and I was on it for like 6 weeks, and then I read that you can get stuck on it and your body will stop producing it. So if I can fix it with eggs, I'm gonna fix it with eggs before I do something. But yeah, same thing, right? They just go ahead and subscribe something, and my doctor didn't tell me when he prescribed me testosterone replacement that I might stop producing testosterone from if I have an outside environment that's bringing it in. They don't tell you those
Mm.
things, and so I could totally see how they're like, "Oh, we're just going to do this procedure and remove your gallbladder. You don't need it anyhow."
No, it's a spare part, he told me. You don't
Yeah,
need it. I'm like, well, if it's a spare part, why is it in there? I mean,
yeah.
it
Well,
must have some kind of, but I didn't even question it. He's the doctor, he's the expert. I just did what I was told, which is what I've done all my life. And, I ate the balanced diet and I failed that and struggled. And I've listened to my doctors, but now I've taken research into my own hands. I follow Dr. Berry, Dr. Chafee, Dr. Baker. They all practice what they preach. They eat
yeah,
meat, and look at them; they all look fantastic. Now that's my role model doctor, not the ones that I was seeing. They look nothing like those guys. They couldn't make
absolutely.
a carnivore calendar or anything like that. They would not. Yeah. So yeah,
Right.
you just got to do your own research. Take your health into your own hands. Doctors, they're just doing what they've learned how to do. But you need to see a doctor that's got an open mind because, half of them need to be on the carnivore diet. And until you know, they jump on board and start doing it and improving their health, they can't really recommend it to anyone else. So, yeah, do your own
Absolutely.
research. Linda Shank is not a leg of lamb, it's just a lower portion, chucked in the oven, salted for an hour or so, but could add water. It evaporates off, but adds moisture. Yeah, I knew it was part of a leg, but I didn't know which. I thought it might have been sort of towards the bottom, but yeah,
I
very
gotcha.
nice. Yeah, I might have to try it. I have seen them in the shop, but yeah,
Huh.
I just keep it simple, but definitely would like to try it.
Totally. Yeah, I think we only get the leg of lambs that are up top.
Mm. Live in SoCal, is that California? Or,
Yeah, Southern
well,
California.
oh, okay. With dozens of local supermarkets every month or so, somebody has ribeye, New York steak, porterhouse, or T-bones for $5, $6 a pound. Load the freezer. All I eat. Life-changing results. Yeah,
Yeah,
beautiful. I get
that's
a lamb
awesome.
meat delivered. I just order them from the butcher every fortnight. I get a big box of meat, fill up my freezers.
Every time you
It's all
say
packed.
fortnight, I feel like telling all my
Oh,
American friends that means 2 weeks.
every 2 weeks. So bi-weekly or yeah, every other week. Sorry.
No, no, I love it. I think it's funny, but every time you say it, I'm sitting here thinking 2 weeks, 2 weeks. That's what it means.
It's funny because I work for a bunch of writers and they're mostly based in the US. So it's like I speak a foreign language. They always laugh at me. I've reached out to one of my writers and said, "Oh, can you help me with this blog post?" One of my writers smashed at the moment, like she's smashed with work. She thought I meant
Yeah,
smashed as in intoxicated.
yeah,
And just the little, yeah, little things of, "How are you going, mate?" And I'm going by train. And it's like, no, when you say, "Hey, how are you going?" It's like, "How are you?" Not,
yeah, yep.
how are you traveling kind of thing. Yeah, we get that all the time. It's like a different
I think it's
language.
funny. It's fun to hear it. Actually, I like it.
Deborah, switched from keto to ketovore first 9 months of this year, then carnivore the past 2 weeks. Lost 37 pounds on keto since last Christmas, stuck at 200 pounds for 4 months. Yeah, your body's probably just trying to acclimatize to the change, I guess. And when it's ready, you're probably just nourishing your body. When it's ready, it'll start letting go of that weight. But I think when I stall, I think that your body can be healing as well sometimes. So that changing it up might help. But if it doesn't, it's your body's probably prioritizing healing. You've probably got something that's not quite right, and you just got to let it take its course.
Yeah, absolutely, and I agree very much so because I don't know. I don't know if anybody can prepare for it, but the body composition and the healing that your body does, the mitochondria healing, just your tissue rebuilding. For me, atrophy, I had a lot of atrophy from being so sedentary for so long. Those things, sometimes you just have months and sometimes months stacked on top of months where things don't move like you're expecting it. But if you pay attention, you'll notice that you're feeling better, you're feeling stronger, your clothes are fitting better, you're just more
Mm.
flexible and you just have more range of motion back. Pain's gone. And I just think that there's certain months your body goes through where it doesn't care about losing weight. It cares about like creating, growing new tissue, creating things, going through autophagy and just healing. And you'd be super happy with that. To me, now those things mean more than the days when I lose weight because I know that when my body's healing, the weight is, the weight's a done deal. It's just a matter of time now. But when your body's
Yeah.
healed, yeah, everything's gonna be just fine.
And muscle weighs more than fat. So you could be gaining muscle and losing fat, but the scale's not going to show that. Yeah, but you can see, as Todd said, in your composition, your clothes may be fitting better, so your body's changing shape. The scales are not moving, or they could be moving the wrong way, but you could be losing heaps of fat but gaining muscle, and that's just not going to reflect on the numbers. So
Exactly. Let's see
that's why you
here.
should not throw the scales out the window.
Yeah, toss it. That thing gets in your head.
Yes, Limitless Lindy's US steak tasting tour 2024, and I'm starting at your place, Annalise.
I'm all in. That'd be awesome. I'd like to taste all of her steak. I haven't even
And then
had
when we're
it.
done with the US, you can all come to Australia and we'll go on an outback tour.
I'd be
Yep.
excited to do that. I do want to. Is it true that you guys eat kangaroo there?
Oh, they do have it. I don't eat Skippy though, but they do have it in the supermarket. Yeah.
What'd you call it, Skippy?
Oh, haven't you seen Skippy? Skippy the bush kangaroo. I'm sure you could YouTube that. It's a little. Oh, I think it was back in the
That's
70s. It
funny.
was a show.
That was just making me laugh because here Skippy is a peanut butter.
Oh, and it's got a kangaroo on it too, doesn't it? On the label, does it have a kangaroo?
I don't think so. I'll have
Oh,
to look it
okay.
up.
Yes. Look up, yeah, YouTube Skippy the bush kangaroo. It's like a little boy who lives out in the bush and he's got a pet kangaroo. And he blows his little gum leaf and it whistles and Skippy comes running and he's like Lassie. Do you know Lassie the collie dog? Is that an American thing? Oh. Whenever Sonny gets in trouble, he blows his little gum leaf whistle and Skippy comes and helps him. Like he's like a hero without the cape. He's
I
beautiful.
got you. we'll have to we'll have to look it up. That's so funny.
Yeah, after that, yeah. I'm keto since June 1st and only lost 18 pounds. The stall struggle is real. Dr. Boss says incorporate fasting. Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
That's what I'm going to start doing this week. So,
Also, I'm going to throw this out there again because I underestimated the power of this, but you know, I can't say it enough. And we are not a sponsor. It just my personal opinion is that Steak and Butter Gang is pretty awesome, and it can really help answer a lot of your questions. And I love how engaged it keeps everybody and keeps them hyper focused because it keeps their mind in them. They do Zoom calls. I don't know how many Zoom calls would you say they do a week? Like,
probably eight,
yeah,
6 to 8 sometimes. Yeah, it depends if they've got special visitors, like they have guest speakers, Dr. Chafee and Dr. Hampton, heaps of, yeah, so there could be quite a few.
yeah.
But
And I mean, you
definitely the
get
priming is a help because that nourishes your body and then you can start fasting so you're not white knuckle fasting. There's nothing worse than feeling like you're deprived and forcing yourself to fast. When you do the priming, fasting becomes really easy. So
yeah,
doing
and
that
it
protocol is
yeah, and
good.
it's so counterintuitive. I understand, but to concentrate on giving your body what it needs to heal your mitochondria, to rebuild these new, fat adaptation pathways that you haven't been using for a long time. Let your gut microbiome heal up all these things, and then so you feed the body, and then you add fasting, puts you in a state of autophagy, boost growth hormones, stem cells, cell regeneration, all these things reduces inflammation, does amazing things. It really is a really good cycle, and they do a great job on the schedule of keeping your body confused because anything that your body adapts to is no longer a stressor on your body. Now it's just your new It's just your new environment. It's just your new normal. So your body don't no longer get stressed out by it, and you don't have that that reaction to it. It's not feeling any kind of strain on it. Just, I mean, there's more than muscles work that way. You can work muscles and they feel a need because there's a strain, a stressor put on them to get healthier and get bigger and get stronger. Well, you can do that to the cells of your body too by shaking them up in many different ways, but fasting is one of the best ways. Eating more, eating less, just doing things, taking cold showers, taking hot showers, exposing to different things, and it causes these stressors, and your body reacts to it. And if you're eating healthy and the proper human diet, it seems like every time there's a shift there and your body reacts to it, you lose more weight, you get a little stronger, things heal up a little better. It's really quite amazing. And the steak and butter gang is just fabulous at kind of keeping all these different cycles on the priming and fasting and mini primes and micro primes and fasting schedules. It's pretty outstanding. I highly recommend it. So let's see.
Congrats on getting off Copenhagen, Todd.
Thank you
Yay.
much. I do appreciate it, and I will let you know if I still have friends when this is over.
Sandra says, what are you priming for? I still don't understand. I want to start fasting, so I don't feel like I'm ready for that at the weight at where I was. 'Cause to me, fasting is white knuckling, and a little bit scared of fasting. I don't want to feel like I'm torturing myself. So the priming will nourish my body, so that when I do start the fasting, I should be able to do it without the white knuckling, and it should come easily to me. So that's what priming is for me. Because
Yeah,
I need
maybe
autophagy.
for sure. Definitely autophagy. Yeah, and maybe I don't know, maybe I'll say it a different way too, because this was a real realization that came to me that for whatever reason in my entire 39-year adult life, I never thought about this or gave it any thought anyways, is that, we eat for two, we don't just eat for energy, we eat for nutrients, and so you have to think that as, you put fuel in your car, but you also, do maintenance to your car. You put antifreeze, you put oil in your car, you grease bearings, you do all these things, right? And when you're on the standard American diet, we're just concentrated on the fuel. We're not concentrated on the upkeep. We're not concentrated on the raw materials and the building blocks. And actually, the more weight you have, it's kind of a sign that the more malnourished you are. The less building blocks you actually have, and your systems are sick and breaking down, and you just have all this toxic fuel that you've been putting in and not able to use up fast enough. And so priming is giving your body the raw materials that it needs to repair the damage that you've been doing on the standard American diet and westernized diet, to go in there and repair tissue, repair your hormones, repair your, brain chemistry, repair your mitochondria, to repair your gut microbiome, and get nutrition, and then that gives you the strength and the ability to be able to work on the fuel side of things finally, so you can fast and start pulling off some of this fuel that you've been storing up. Because it was important to me when I really started paying attention that we eat for fuel and building blocks, because I understood that my body wasn't always screaming for things because it just wanted the fuel. My body was screaming for building blocks, and I just kept giving it sugar, which was just fuel, and it was screaming for nutrients, and I was just shoving more and more sugar in there, and it was never getting it. And so now that I can separate those two things mentally, and I'm like, okay, we got to start looking at it that way. Then, so once you repair the damage and you get those things kind of reshored up, then it gives you all the power in the world to go ahead and go on these fasts. And like Lindy said, you're not white knuckling it anymore. And now your body can concentrate with a healthy and robust system to go after all that stored fat, that stored fuel that you don't need, and it starts beating it down. And so that's what priming is. It's like the most optimal way that I can see that you can deal with that, because if you try to go after the fuel before your body's healthy and before you really worked on the core problems and like the emergency systems in your body, you're in for a long road, because that's going to be a tough fight if your body's not with you on it. So, Remington, let's see.
That works so well. I rest it while I'm cooking some eggs on it as a side. I'm resting your meat. Yeah, I'm too impatient for that. I'll just get stuck into it straight away. Still tastes good to
Exactly.
me.
Try it one time. I'm gonna give you like some instructions, and I want you to try
Oh,
one steak the big T way one time just to see what you think.
all right, I might
And
give it a
then
go.
I did, to your credit, I did cook a steak completely from frozen, and it broke my heart watching it. And I gave it a little prayer and said, "Rest in peace," to my steak, because I knew, I was like,
All right,
everything
all
in my
right.
soul tells me this is wrong.
Send me some instructions and I'll follow it to a T and I'll let you know how it goes next
All
week.
right, sounds good.
Sandra, I've been drinking your lemon mineral water drink. Got me off LMNT. There you go.
That's awesome. Man, I'm glad to hear that, and I'm dead serious. Please check in, because I've been getting a lot of questions about that, and I've been telling everybody, and I'm just telling everybody what worked for me and mom and my sister so far, and I really do want to know, because I don't know. I'm just telling people what worked for us. I don't know why it worked. I still don't know why it worked. I don't have any insight why that's been so powerful, but I'm really super curious, like genuinely honest, or curious, and want to know how it works for everybody else too, because I want to know if that's something that I should be pushing to anybody that's having this. I tell them what I did, but I really want to know if it's like having a great effect just widely across the board or not. That'll be great to find out. Let's
Hmm.
see. Here we go.
Lewis, to break a store, eat only beef, salt and water. Do this for at least 14 days. No cheats. Eat until satiated. Do not eat when you are not hungry. This will eliminate whatever is causing the store line. Yeah, so that's basically line diet. And I've heard a lot of people break a store with a line diet. So, yeah, it's
Yeah,
almost
very much agreed.
restricting and going back to basics, isn't it? And then you can, once the store stops, you can start reintroducing other foods later if you want
Yep.
to.
I think that that's a good idea. But myself, like I kind of got down to just salt and beef and water for a while. When I was drinking that lemonade, trying to just focus on getting in deep into ketosis and getting off the soda, and it definitely worked. I don't think there's anything wrong with getting it super simple, so that and kind of finding a real simple baseline, and then adding things back one at a time to see if you
Yeah.
can tell if it's hurting you or not.
Lindy said it stopped her hair from falling out after the significant weight loss, so I tried it. It's helping me too now. Yeah, priming did slow down my hair loss. I've lost a lot of weight in the last 22 months, and my hair was falling out by the handfuls, which is really scary. Thankfully, I had a big, thick head full of hair to start with, but it has thinned out, especially on top. And the priming, it has slowed right down. So that has been another game changer for me. So that's why I've decided to stay priming a little bit longer, just to, if there's any, can help my hair. I don't want to lose any more. I want it to thicken up again. So yeah, um, it's just another healing thing. It's been definitely good to do. So
It's awesome.
mm.
I haven't grown my hair back, but I did grow the sides of my eyebrows back. I don't know if that counts for anything.
Didn't you say your hair was growing a bit thicker here too?
It is
You said,
actually
well,
on the yeah.
yeah.
I'm still bald as could be, but on the sides, all that came in a lot thicker. But I'm not holding my breath for anything on top. So
And they say colour comes back as well. You start losing some of those greys and the hair colour comes back. And I know my daughter and I got our hair done together a few months ago, and she's like, "Mum, we got to go back and get a hair done." I'm like, "Mine's still looking okay. Oh, I can't see any grey there." Maybe that's Carnivore. I don't know. I'm not as desperate as she is yet. So,
That's awesome.
Oh, thank you, Susan. I'm definitely happier, much happier than I used to be. So, yeah, I'm feeling good.
That's
Thank you,
that is a
Susan.
fact.
Losing weight too fast a few years ago, which cost a significant hair loss, which repaired after many months of eating healthy. Sometimes slow and steady is best. A stall could be the body repairing. Yeah, exactly what I was saying, definitely. And I think the priming helped with my hair loss, as I said before. Definitely slowed it down just by eating the proper human diet. So I messed my hair up now.
For sure. Yeah, I don't know. I made my peace with my hair never coming back. So I'm gonna have to see it in the next life, I think.
We say swamped, you say smashed. Wow, how funny.
Smashed is funnier for sure. That does have a that could make for a fun conversation if you tell your boss you're smashed. Oh, that's funny.
It's so cool and interesting hearing and learning how words and phrases are used differently in Australia, in the UK, and the USA. We went to the UK when I was 15. My father's English, and we stayed with I think they were his cousins, and they had Australian commercials on there, and we were watching the English commercials, and they call like you call it soda, we call it lemonade, they call it pop, and then you've got jams, we call jam, and they call it jelly. I don't know what you call it, but yeah, just all those different words. And sometimes you feel like you're in different, yeah, you're obviously different
Yeah,
countries, but speaking a different language, it's hard to know what people are saying. It's pretty cool.
for sure.
And
No,
I think you guys have got the accent, and you think I'm the one with the accent. So,
that's exactly right. No, it's hilarious. Well, I mean, even here in the United States, depending where I go, in the United States, you can go from one end of the United States to the other, and it's the same thing. They have different dialects and different accents.
yeah.
And it's so funny. I'll go down south, and I'm like, "You guys got an accent." And they're like, "No, you got an accent." you know? So, yeah, you don't even have to get out of your own country and be like, "What did you just say?"
Yeah,
That's
makes
funny
it interesting.
for sure. All right, next.
Susan, the scale is not my friend. I weigh once a month, so not to be discouraged or disappointed. Taking measurements once a month too is good. Absolutely. I do weigh every day because I've got one of those new funky scales, and it's got all like your fat and BMI and all that kind of stuff. And I haven't looked at it, like I just weigh, it syncs on my phone, and then every now and then I look and I compare all the markers. Mainly because I can now. There were so many times that I jumped on the scale and just saw ERR, and it used to traumatize me every time. And now I just get excited by it, just seeing a number there. Like, I'm not phased by the numbers. Like, it is what it is, and I know I'm eating the right way. So if I stall, it's good to know, and then I can sort of change up my diet or do whatever I need to do. But I also have the lymphedema, so I put on a lot of water weight. Just overnight, I could easily gain 5 kilos of water weight just by, yeah, if it's hot or if I'm stressed. I've been standing up and walking lots the day before, so I understand those fluctuations. So I don't stress too much about the number on the scale, but I just do it because I like being a guinea pig and just looking at how my body reacts with different situations and seeing if I can learn more about how it all works. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
totally. I hate the scale. It's ridiculous as far as I'm concerned. Like I love it on the if I do it on the month because I know I'm gonna see a deficit. But yeah, on certain days where I'll get up and I might be 5 pounds heavier overnight because and it just makes sense, right? I drink 2 gallons of water a day. That's 16 pounds in just water. I'm priming right now and I'm eating like 4.5 to 7 pounds of food a day. So I'm literally between the water and the food, I'm putting like 23, 24 pounds of mass and whatever through me a day. And then, but even with all that, being able to count the pounds and the calories, and I get on the scale and it says 5 pounds, I'm like, dang it. And it's funny because it's like, this is so stupid because you could be anywhere in that variance of what you've put in your body for the day and whether you slept good, if you were stressed out. And it means it's all so short term variance that it means nothing. But the only thing it means anything to is your like paranoid head. So I totally
Yeah.
agree. That
If you've
scale
got a
is silly.
unhealthy relationship with the numbers, then don't weigh every day. But like
Yeah,
I feel comfortable with where I am now, and I'm not focused so much on the number. I do it more out of curiosity and just so I can learn more about how my body's reacting to different things and different situations. So
totally.
yeah. And at least I can also vouch for the benefit of steak and butter game. Wasn't making any progress on carnivore until I joined and started doing the priming protocol. Excellent. Yeah. It's just such a nice community, and I was just hearing all the inspiring stories and being motivated by the coaches. It just keeps you on track, especially when in the real world, if you don't have a lot of carnivore friends or support out there. It's just so nice to be part of a community and feel part of a family. There's always someone there ready to help you in the forums and chat. You can ask for an accountability buddy and they sign you up so you've got someone to speak to, like on Facebook or another, through their forum. So it's, yeah, really good. I love it.
Yeah. I love the process of it. I really I honestly I was getting in there because I knew that you got in there and so I knew from talking to you that that was great. But then I was getting so many questions from people that weren't in my wheelhouse at all. Like, first of all, there's a lot of things that aren't in my wheelhouse, so that's not surprising. But I was like, man, how am I going to be able to help all these people that are asking me questions and trying to guide them to the right spot? And then, so I joined Steak and Butter Gang because in my head I was like, man, I need to get more information so I can help people. And then I got in here and I'm like, okay, well, this is clearly where everybody needs to be is right here because
Yeah,
because there's so much information when I'm sitting there and I'm hearing all the like I'll be in the back of the line and I'm thinking maybe I'll say something or ask a question. And my question almost invariably gets answered every time before I ever even have to think about asking it because other people are going through the same things too. And it's really cool to see that, that other people are going through. I mean, like when I was heard that other people were having problems with chicken and pork and that wasn't some crazy thing that I had thought up in my head or was paranoid about. I was like, oh, that makes sense. When I heard about the cold butter and other people were having problems with rendered fat, and just all these things that up until I was in the steak and butter gang, I thought I was like, I think this is happening to me, and I think that this is happening to me, but I had no, part of the time I was like, I think I'm crazy and I'm just looking for problems or something. And you know what I mean? So to go in there and find out that those things were real was super handy. And then what was even funnier too, on top of that, is then somebody would bring up something that they're having a question about, and it was something that I went through and found a breakthrough on. And so then I can say, oh, by the way, I did this because I did have that problem. Man, that's just invaluable to me.
yeah. I had personal coaching with Emily and Raymond for about 8 months, and once had all the tools and I felt comfortable with with my journey and I was on track, I stopped the coaching and then I eventually left the group and I went on it on my own for a little while and that was okay for a little while. But then you just started getting a little bit, I started missing the meetings. I started missing hearing all the stories. And like I'd been watch YouTube, but it wasn't the same. It wasn't that community feel, that family feel, the motivating coach. Like they start off with a fantastic intro, and it's always something that resonates with you. And it's like, yeah, this is why I'm doing it. And I missed it. And I just thought, no, I'm going to sign up again and just go and sit in the meetings. And when I'm feeling down, I'll go and watch a replay or something and just listen to some testimonials, and that gets me inspired again. So, like, obviously, everyone has their good and bad days. Life happens. You just got to deal with it. But you've got to find ways to get yourself back on track, keep you motivated. And these meetings, having them there 24/7, I can just log in anytime and watch a replay, or if I miss a meeting, I can go in and watch a replay. And that just peps me up again. It makes me feel good. Or I can chat to somebody. I've got a few people I chat to in the messenger part of the thing, and we talk and catch up in there. And that just keeps me going. And I really missed it when I left the group. So having a community, I think, is a big part of my success. And if you are struggling, I definitely think you should consider joining. There's a lot of communities out there. SBG worked for me. I've been in a few, but I just found it seems to cater for everybody. It's not like focused on one thing. Like there's a lot of groups that focus on fitness. Well, fitness and me don't mix. I'm not a fitness guru. I don't work out and do weights and stuff because physically I can't yet. So I don't enjoy that. And so I always kind of felt left out. Whereas SBG gang, it doesn't matter what level you are. You can be a fitness person, and others that are not like me. So there's someone there that you can always resonate with, and it caters for everybody. So
Yeah, absolutely. And it's oh no, it's so good too. It's absolutely right. I feel those same things when I'm going in there, and I find myself looking forward to them. But yeah, just even when I'm doing the coaching with Raymond, things come up in those live streams that I don't even think to ask Raymond at the time. And then I'm like, that's a great point. I actually, every time, I don't know what it is, but the collective, how can you beat having 150 people or something that are all doing the same thing, giving real time feedback? I mean, that's 150 times more feedback than you would get on your own. And so it's just invaluable information. And for less than I spent on my morning coffees, for 5 times less than I spent on my morning coffees every day, it's the greatest value I think I've found in the carnivore world for sure. So I
yeah,
definitely, and it's so fun too. I bring that up on Carrie's live stream last night, and then I hop on SBG this morning, and I got a bunch of messages from new SBG members saying that they came over from the steak and but or from Carrie's live stream last night. So that's the funnest thing too, because now they're in there, and it's kind of like having your own members, kind of like members only chat too, so because it's kind of a smaller community where you can really get to know people better. So I mean, there's just I love so much of it. It's just crazy. So let's see here.
And if you're having a stall or you're struggling, there's always someone there that's going through it with you. So you can compare notes and help each other out. So you're not alone in this journey. There's so many people out there struggling, and it's just a matter of connecting with those people and helping each other through. So the community's great.
Absolutely.
Pat, I'm about to take a trip bringing my air fryer cooking my steaks in hotel room. I
The
did a weekend away last week and I couldn't take the air fryer because then I would have left my husband without. But luckily they had a kitchen there, and my girlfriend bought a lamb and we roasted that. And then we just bought a lot of sort of like cheeses and things like that. So we kind of I binged on carnivore friendly foods, whereas they binged on other stuff. And then we had the roast lamb, so that worked out okay. So yeah, but an air fryer, I might have to buy a second for if I ever do another girly trip. I can take it and leave my husband with this one. So
absolutely. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, Jordan and Michaela Peterson and Tammy Peterson, they always talk about how many air fryers they have donated to random hotel rooms where they forget to take them. So they've strung out air fryers all across the country in hotel rooms. I
I
thought that
think
was
I was
funny.
watching a shot the other day from Bella from Steak and Butter Girl, and she put her eggs in a kettle and boiled the kettle to cook her eggs. And I thought that was awesome. I haven't tried it yet, but definitely each hotel room has a kettle. You could put your eggs in there and boil them.
I think that was my bad. Duly noted. Sorry about that. I think that was when I said, "It's because you're a red-blooded man." I didn't realize
uh,
that. That was my bad. Yeah, exactly right there. Appreciate it. Oh, that's funny. Okay.
So I've been ketogenic since June 2018. Began carnivore 4 months ago. I lose slowly. 150 pounds with 80 to 100 pounds to lose. It's a lifestyle journey forever. Absolutely, this is not a diet. This is a lifestyle, I feel, and yeah, good job.
Yeah, way good
There's
job.
no hurry, is there? No hurry. Your body will just do what it does as long as you're feeding it right and you're feeling amazing. You're on a good thing. So
Absolutely. Let's see here.
I don't weigh. I take my waist measurement every couple of weeks. Waist height ratio is a good health indicator. Yeah, definitely good. And just going by how your clothes feel as well. I actually put on a t-shirt yesterday that I hadn't worn in 25 years. Yeah, I still have all those clothes in the hope that they would one day fit, and it did. And I was so happy, but yeah, I noticed the hem was down, so I had to do a bit of sewing. It's an old t-shirt now, so
That's
then my
awesome.
husband was like, "Hey, I used to wear this 25 years ago, and it's fitting me now." So I'm
That's
actually,
awesome.
yeah, not as heavy as I was when I had lap band surgery, so I've overtaken
That's awesome.
that.
Yeah.
So
I know some of the feeling. I'm not there yet, but I was happy because I was looking for something warm to wear because my room's so cold. And I bought this 5 years ago and can never wear it. So I was like, hey, that old sports coat might fit by now. And I was like, it's still just a fuzz tight, but it'll button. But I for people's safety of not getting hit by a flying button, I better give it another 20 pounds.
oh, that won't take long. That won't take.
For sure.
Have you completely eliminated vegetable seed oils? I already damaged my health eating polyunsaturated oils before I discovered carnivore. I don't use any oils at all. I don't use olive oil either. Avocado oil, which I think are keto friendly. I don't use any oil. Yeah, I use tallow if I need to, but I find the meat has enough fat in it anyway. I don't need to add extra. I do like a little bit of butter occasionally, but I don't eat sticks of butter. I might just have a little bite here or there if I feel I've got a bit of a tummy rumble or something and I don't want to have a full meal. I'll just take a bite and that's it. So yeah, no oils at all for me.
Yeah, I don't. I just eat butter and then whatever fat that comes with the meat that I'm cooking. If I'm cooking it in anything, like when I'm cooking steaks, I'll sear them in butter, but I wait for the fat of the steak to render down, and then at the end of it, I'll mix the butter in it because if you just put butter on a hot skillet, you're gonna burn the butter. But if you mix that butter in with the fat of the steak, the rendered fat of the steak, then it kind of gives the it gives the butter more tolerance not to burn. It gives it a little higher smoke point when you mix them. And so I'll
Mm.
baste a steak and sear steak in a mixture of tallow and butter. But that's really it. I cook my eggs in butter. Um, that's it. Yeah.
This community family is the best. Absolutely, it is. Yeah, everyone loves each other. We all help each other. I love this community so much.
We're all
Yeah,
happy. There's no cranky people here because everybody's got the carnivore glow and the carnivore zen, and everybody's happy. It's fun to be in a whole group of happy people.
yeah. And you're detoxing from Copenhagen, and you still got a smile. So
It's true. It's very
yeah,
true.
you're still very positive and happy. So yeah,
Very much so.
you guys are my favorite carnivores. Thank you
Ah,
so much for all you do for the community. I'm learning so much from you guys. Love you guys. Thank you, Kimberly. Oh,
totally appreciate you. Thank you so much.
we're
And
just
this is
trying to keep it real.
this is a good time to talk about this guy.
Yay! I can vouch for SBG too. First week for me, I was overwhelmed with how much support they give each other, clapping and cheering for you. It's really amazing. I love Michael. He's awesome.
Michael is our new what do you call him? Uh
Moderator.
yeah, moderator, producer, IT. He's just helping us because he knows that we're a little bit technologically behind.
We have a
Challenges.
beautiful background now. We look professional, don't we?
I know this everything that you're seeing here, the background, the comments, how remember when I was juggling comments and looking like a clown? That was Michael took mercy on us and said, let me help you with your comments, your background, your banners, your feeds. So all this stuff where we look like we're a well-oiled machine, that's Michael.
Yeah.
he's he's doing all that, and he's also got a pretty amazing carnivore story too. That once he gets us all caught up and running a little bit smoother, he's gonna he's gonna be joining us here one of these future days. So, but
Or I can just do it right now.
there we go.
Yay! Hi, Michael.
Hi,
Welcome
guys.
to Michael. This is awesome. This is so much fun. What do you think, Mike? What do you want to say?
First, I just want to thank Lindy and Todd for coming out and doing this. I'm gonna get all choked up here, guys. Um, them coming out and doing what they're doing has helped me in just this short time. Um, you know, I'm the guy that Todd brought up last night about being 17 years homebound, and yeah, I'm speechless right now. But these two people have helped me so much, and I know they understand where I'm coming from because they lived it. And if you don't live where we've been, you never truly understand it. You can think that you understand it, but until you walk the walk, you don't know it. And I know Lindy, it took a lot of guts for her to come out and turn her camera on SBG. And she was the first one to do this. And she's freaking amazing. I love her so much. And Todd has become such a close friend to me since we started doing this. Um, we could have had some long podcasts and shows with our phone calls that we've had. Our first phone call was 10 hours, and we felt like we've known each other our entire lives. Um, but these two people are truly amazing, and I thank them each day for being in my life. I really mean that. You
And
guys have no
Michael,
idea how much weight came off me when I first came out and started talking about this a couple shows ago. I felt like a new person, and it's been that way since this has all been going on. So I truly appreciate you guys, and I know that I'm not alone. Look in the chat; you can see how many other people there are like us that have gone through this and are still suffering with this. And if I do have a channel that I do go live with or put videos up or something like this, it's going to be talking to those people that are stuck just like we all were. And Bill's another one too, with his story and where he's at and where he's going. And he knows the same things that all three of us know. Okay. And he's coming along with us, and we're going to get all four of us on a show together.
one
Okay.
day for sure, for
I'll
sure.
be
It's
there.
definitely,
But
definitely,
I wanted to
definitely
do
love
this.
to do it.
I truly wanted to thank you guys. I mean
Uh,
this.
We are
You
so
guys,
happy.
you guys, me doing this and doing the show with you guys has given my life meaning again. I look forward to waking up each morning and having something to do and that I could put my effort into. So you guys are, thank you. Okay, I'm
Thank
gonna go
you.
back. I'm gonna go back in the dark now, or I can stay up here too. I can
Yeah,
see.
You're
absolutely,
welcome to stay. You're welcome to stay. You can help us answer some of these questions. So,
absolutely. Like, there's this crazy question from a guy named Michael up here.
Oh, is there a question by me?
Oh, Michael, yeah, it's been nothing but a pleasure, man. I'm glad to call you my friend. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. This is what me and Lindy were hoping for, that we could find people with this show that we would relate to, because we both found a commonality, and it felt nice to know somebody that was in our shoes before and that could relate to it. And we realized that was something that was kind of missing for us when we were looking to it, we could see other people, but none that were kind of as deep into this as we were, and it was we didn't know what we didn't know have a ton of hope that it was going to work for us, and the fact that it did and so amazingly, we were hoping that we could find people like you, and well, you blew our expectations out of the water. You're so much more than we were hoping for too, and the work that you're doing now and helping us, it's just it's a true godsend. So
I told Todd, I was forced to move into a very small apartment that's on the second floor. There's no way for me to get out of this place if there's a fire or something like that. And I don't see nobody. So I haven't really talked to anybody in like 3 years. So having Todd and Lindy that I can talk to and share my experience with, and they understand everything that I tell them because they all lived it. It's really amazing.
absolutely, and we are. It's going to be so fun for all you. Michael's 90 days into
100,
carnivore,
102 days.
102 days now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Congratulations, and he's
And last time I checked, I was down 57 pounds.
that's awesome. That
Um,
is awesome.
Speaking of carnivore, um, really amazing. It has changed my life. I've been addicted to food all my life. When Todd tells his story, that's pretty much mine. Though I wasn't as big at that age. I was probably 400 pounds. At like 15, 16. And the change that now that I'm on carnivore, 95%, I still have a few things that I still eat that once they're gone, I'm going to switch to 100% carnivore. I still have some mushrooms and stuff like that. But once that's gone and cheese, I needs to go and dairy is gone. But now that I am carb free, the feeling of not having the thought of food constantly being there, or what am I going to eat for dinner? What am I going to eat for breakfast? The first thought that comes into your mind because you got that addiction. And I'll tell you, my first month through carnivore was very hard on me. I really thought I was going to die. I had really bad breathing issues in the month of July, and I didn't think I was going to make it. And July is my birthday month, and I said on my birthday, I got to go for one more change, one more try at this, because I've tried so many times and I've always failed. And for the first time in my life, I'm free from that addiction of the carbs. I don't think about food. I actually have to get up and force myself to eat because I don't think about it otherwise. It's amazing. It's life changing, and I feel for the first time in my life I'm free. And for the longest time, I always thought that the only way I would ever lose weight is by getting weight loss surgery. And I always pushed my insurance companies to try to get me approved for it. But being homebound, there's no way I can see a nutritionist to come out and see me. Nobody takes the Medicaid and to come out to see you. So how was I ever going to do that? So I would get so close to being able to do it, but then I would always hit red tape but I don't need it now. I found this and this is working. And the weight that I'm at right now is the lowest that I've been in probably 20 plus years. Okay.
That's
I
awesome.
was over 700 at my highest. What the true number is, I have no clue. So
We can I could talk for we talk for hours as it is, and now that you're feeling frisky here, we, we can
hey,
talk
this
about
this was all done on a whim. If I knew, I would have put on a better shirt and I'd be sitting up. I told Todd I don't want to be on camera if I'm stuck in my recliner. But I have such bad lymphedema in my legs that I have to keep my legs elevated, otherwise they just
absolutely.
swell up.
Oh, this is awesome. I'm so glad you came on because we can all talk now. I mean, first of all, this is great because you're at the 3.5 month mark right now.
Yeah.
Lindy, I'm at like the 10.5 month
10,
mark,
yep.
and Lindy's at like the 21.5 month mark. Aren't you, Lindy?
All the different steps of progress.
Yeah.
This is going to be great information for people to get to watch live, and now we can have some more depth of conversations about exactly what me and Lindy have been talking about, how fun it is to be able to relate to people, because I think the more that we can do that, and it'll resonate with people, and I'm hoping that people that are stuck and scared to reach out that we can break through to them, is what I'm really hoping.
I just want to talk about that too. I know that I am not the only one that's out there. I know that there is other people that are stuck and are thinking about giving up. Do not give up. I was there. Lindy was there. Todd was there. You can
Mm.
change your life. There is an answer. Carnivore will help you. Please try it. Go 30 days. What do you got to lose? You've already lost so much already. A little bit more. Try to carnivore and see where it takes you. I'm here. Reach out to me, Todd, Lindy. I'm sure that they would help anybody. We're all here.
Absolutely.
Why do you think we do this every week? We're here to help you. Okay. We want people like us are stuck. You feel lost. You feel hopeless. We're here to help. This is why we do this show.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better. Yeah, it's amazing. It's really amazing. This is gonna be awesome.
Who is the cute white puppy, Michael?
That's
My
Riley.
name's Todd.
Oh,
Sorry, terrible joke.
He's got more hair than puppy.
Yeah, is your puppy around, Michael? Oh,
No.
that's right. Yeah,
Since I was forced to move into an apartment and I couldn't take her out,
That's
I
right.
had to let my my ex take her.
I forgot about that. Let's see here. I was just reading through.
Yeah, we've lost Michael in our comments now.
Yeah, exactly.
Not
Michael's on
starring
the
on
side.
our comments.
We need a backup Michael moderator.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all good.
No.
Here.
Rather have him here with us. It's really cool.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, well, let's put up Michael's let's see. Let's see. Let's go back here a bit. I've got to get glasses. I can't see nothing.
Do you have a YouTube channel, Michael?
There we go.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. Yet. Maybe. So
Someday.
hopefully he'll join us more often on this one.
Absolutely.
Part of the team.
I'm up here with you guys. You guys know that.
Cool.
That's awesome.
So you can catch Michael here every Monday.
Sunday in the U.S.
Sunday.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, for the Aussies.
Forgive Lindy, she's smashed.
Yeah, and a crazy carnivore.
Oh, let's see. I'm going to answer this one real quick. I'm just starting at the top. Well, I don't eat 7 pounds of meat. I eat about somewhere between 2.5 pounds of meat right now a day, and maybe upwards to 4.5 pounds of meat. The rest is in eggs. Do either of you think it matters that some of us can't eat as much? Oh, you're preaching to the choir, pal. Like, about, I don't know, 3 weeks ago, I was only eating 1.5 pounds of meat a day, and that was overfilling me. So this is, I feel like I'm in Raymond's boot camp, like Marine boot camp of eating. Like, you actually got to eat like it's your job. And so, if you would have told me that I could have done this 2 or 3 weeks ago, I would not have taken that bet, to be honest with you. So practice.
I can't eat large meals because I still have a bit of a restriction from my lap band. So I have to, I make a 250-gram steak. Sorry, I don't know what that is in pounds. And I might even just eat half of that. And that's my meal. And then when you look at other people, like the influencers, they have bacon, eggs, steak, all these 50 different things on their plates. Exaggeration. But I could not sit down and eat a big meal like that. I just physically find it impossible. So I'm priming now, and they're 3 small meals, nothing like what Todd's eating at the moment, and that's because of that restriction. So Yeah, and I'm not hungry either. Like I do force the 3 meals because I'm priming, but I'm not hungry for it.
For sure. For me, it
What is the
was.
average? Oh, sorry.
Oh, go
What is
ahead.
the average time to get rid of inflammation when you first start at carnivore? You go.
I think I'm trying to think, but I think within 3 weeks, the inflammation, pretty much as soon as I got into ketosis at all, I started getting rid of inflammation. Like there's something about being in ketosis and getting rid of inflammation that coincide, and then that also coincides with a whole lot of peeing. To be honest with you. I don't know, but I think that started happening in small doses for me within 3 weeks. But honestly, I had to transition from ketovore to full carnivore before I got deep in ketosis, and then which took 3 months, and then it was full on, like, no inflammation anymore. I mean, so much more, so much so that my teeth, like my lifelong battle with gum disease, my teeth and gums stopped bleeding at that point. It was crazy.
Yeah, for me, I did try 6 months and being on carnivore, and I failed. I think I was more sad diet than I was carnivore during that trying to transition until I reached out to SVG gang. So when I actually committed on in January 2021, probably within 2 weeks, the edema in my body was going and the brain fog was lifting, and I was more alert. I wasn't so brain fogged and sleeping all the time. So pretty quickly, whether I had oxalates and all that, I know a lot of people talk about that. I was in such a bad way. I had no idea what an oxalate, or because I was so malnourished and just overweight and feeling crappy. I don't know what the difference is. I just felt bad all the way around. So it definitely was an improvement as I started getting into the carnivore diet. So yeah, within a couple of weeks, I just sort of started seeing the benefits for sure. So
Absolutely. Michael, have you felt any inflammation leaving?
Yeah, my legs feel a lot better. My knees. Just this past week, I was suffering a little bit because I needed some electrolytes. Um, but yeah, my joints are feeling better.
very good.
Speaking of electrolytes,
Dr. Berg's powder is good. I tried it for a while. There you go.
absolutely, it is pretty good stuff.
How much do you need to prime and how much and why? It's different for everyone. I think 2 weeks is normally the priming, what they start with, but some people need to prime a little bit longer. Some people may not need as much, and that's where the team can help you determine where you are at your journey and what you would need to do. So they're probably the best to help you with how much you need to prime. For me, I did start the 2 weeks, and then obviously I was only actually going to do 1 week. Emily said, because I've been carnivore for so long, I only need to do 1 week. But then when my hair started to stop falling out, she's like, oh, maybe do another week just to, don't want it to reverse and go back once I start the fasting. So that's why I opted to do another week priming. Um, Todd?
Yeah, so I think I was trying to think how that works too, because I was gonna do, it was so funny. I was gonna do 3 days. Raymond say, he goes, "You've been doing this so long, maybe only 3 days." And then I did 3 days. He goes, whatever markers he was looking for, he was like, "I'm not seeing it yet. I think you better go a full week." And then after that happened, I had a day where I finally got hungry. Like I had eaten until nauseum the day before, all 3 meals, and I woke up and was hungry, which was weird. And so I made the mistake. That's a joke, but I told Raymond about it. And Raymond was like, "One more week of priming for you." I'm like, "Oh no." And so then I did another week of priming, and he was like, and I quit chewing. And so then when I quit chewing, my appetite got real, and it started really coming back. And so he's like, "So now I'm going to be priming for at least another week. I have a gut suspicion it's going to probably be 2 weeks, but basically you're trying to prime until you literally want to puke if you try to eat again or think about food or anything, because you want to know. Now this is what I was thinking about, why it was taking me a second, is because I think that you only do that like one time. I think like one time period, and then after that you do like mini and micro prime. So like I think a micro is 3 days and a mini is like
Yeah.
a week. So you no longer have to do that. They just want to at the beginning just to absolutely uh just overload you with all the building blocks and materials that your body could need, and just make your body tap out and say, I am satiated. I got all the stuff I need. Stop doing this, until you get those cues, and you can kind of tell, like, um, you know, if you even, like, right now, I've eaten so many eggs, and I'll explain this too. I'm doing the eggs because I'm following a specific protocol for eggs, that's to boost testosterone and male hormones. But so most people aren't doing the egg thing. That's something specific to me. But I've eaten so many eggs that when I think about egg whites touching my tongue, I actually get a little bit nauseous. Like, so I'm about there on the eggs, because I've eaten something like, I don't know, 350 eggs in the last like 2.5, 3 weeks or something. It's been incredible. You should see the egg cartons around here. It's insane. My DoorDash guy thinks I'm insane, and I mess with his head, and he'll be like, "Did you really mean that you wanted 20 dozen eggs?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I've already got 4 left over, so 20 will be enough this week." So it's just a little bit hilarious. But so that's the point, and how long you're supposed to do it, and the purpose, of course, is to get fully nourished before you go into fasting. Again, putting building blocks, raw materials that your body can use to basically create new tissues, heal your hormones, and then you can start working on longer fasting to isolate the added body fat fuel that we have to get rid of that, so lean out.
Mm. Will you be trying out the priming protocol, Michael, or
If I need
just
it,
been for now?
I'm. It's
Just
working
happy.
for me right now. I'm just trying to stay in ketosis, and you guys have so much more knowledge on this stuff than I do. I'm the newbie here, so I'm just trying to get the scale to keep going down in the right direction, and it is
I have
slow.
Yeah,
I have a gut feeling I know the answer, that what you need, but I'm not going to say it because you have access to coaches now that are way smarter than me at the SBG gang. So I can't wait to have another 5-hour conversation with you, so I can hear what the coaches tell you. And we could go over that. We don't sleep much around here. We got too much to talk about.
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
I did
there's
it.
been many mornings when me and Todd are still up at 5:30 in the morning talking on the phone.
Yeah, Lindy was, well, you're so hard to tell what time it is here, because you're a day ahead of me and also 7 hours behind me at the same time. uh,
About 10:30 a.m. Monday morning here. So yeah.
yeah, it's 5:30 p.m. here on Sunday for me. All right,
6:30 here.
We got any more questions?
I think there's a few started.
Okay.
I just want to talk about the carnivore diet movie.
Yep.
Carrie's awesome person, and everybody that's involved in this. And I really think that more people need to learn about this. So if you guys can just make a small donation, Todd's got the link to their GoFundMe. More people need to learn about carnivore and what it can do for all the people who are giving up hope, and even just not even weight loss. You got all these people that are curing cancer, and all these other medical problems that they have, getting off all the meds. If you watch Carrie's stream last night, you saw him pick up all his meds that he was on at one time in his life, and he's no longer taking none of those. And he's not at the extreme where we were at. He was what, 300 pounds maybe, and look at the change, that how much it's made for him just getting off all those meds. So the carnivore lifestyle. I don't call it a diet. I call it a lifestyle because it's completely different than any diet that I've ever been on, Lindy's ever been on, and Todd's ever been on. And I'm sure for many of you that are out there, it's a new lifestyle. Sure, you miss the food that you used to eat, a few of them. I tried a couple sweet things in my 90 some days that I've been, or 100 days that I've been doing this now. It does not taste the same. I don't want it anymore in my life. I'm living. I'm happy. I'm no longer depressed. I was suffering with depression for so many years of my life on all these meds and all this stuff. I'm not taking depression meds no more. I'm free from that. And the life change is worth it.
Absolutely.
Give it a try. Give it a try.
Yeah, and as far as the carnivore diet movie goes, yeah, absolutely. I just want to make sure everybody knows we're not like sponsored or anything by any of that stuff. We don't
No.
get a penny.
And we don't get
In
no
fact,
cut of anything that's donated or anything like that either.
And they're not even asking us to do this. I don't even think they know that we're promoting it, to be honest with you. We just believe in it so very much because go listen to Jeff's stories that on the 24-hour live stream, the things that the breakthroughs are doing with cancer and mental illness and we're part of, I've joined I think we all are on Carrie's join page, like what do you call that, personal page
Membership.
or whatever. Yeah, membership.
Yeah,
There we go. And we're all part of it, so we kind of get to see some behind the scenes stuff, the stuff he did in Canada just recently with Maggie, and it's just amazing, and it really is important. So that's why we're pushing it. We don't ever want to sell anybody anything. This is all about reaching people, but this is an important thing to reach people, and so that's why we're putting it out there. And so I just wanted to make that distinction that this is not a for profit thing by any means, and that goes for Carrie too. Holmes said how every super chat he gets, all of his membership fees, all the donations goes 100% into the documentary. It's not going into anybody's pocket. This is all just to get carnivore diet documentary. I saw in here somewhere too. Somebody brought up that it should be a series, and they're hoping if it's successful enough that it will be a series, and that we can keep putting this out there, and because there's so much to say. There's Carnivore is doing so many amazing things. I mean, just in the steak and butter gang, in the last Zoom meeting that I heard of testimonies of tumors being healed and chronic pancreatitis and all these things that have been healed. Just in the last Zoom meeting, we could make a month's worth of episodes. Like it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So, just wanted to put that out there for sure. Okay. Let's see. We got any more questions? Here's one.
I'm just outside of Chicago, South Side, United
Are you
States.
not shot yet?
I'm stuck in my apartment. That's why.
I'm just joking. I don't know nothing about Chicago, but from in our newspapers we hear about that everybody gets shot in Chicago. So.
You know where not to go, and you'll be fine.
I think I'm going to have to get a map and put it up on my wall of the US and put everyone's little pins there so I know where everyone is. Big place.
Yeah, for sure. I just about need that, and I'm from here.
Kerry's the real deal. I'm so glad he stepped up and took on this project. Needed someone to, didn't we? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
And our stories to get out there and be heard.
Absolutely, man. And yeah, he's also, I've gotten to know him just a little bit over the last few months, and he's a very, very genuine guy, real humble guy, doing it for all the right reasons. I'm glad to call him a friend. So.
And I just want to put this back up there again.
Oh, that's my husband. That dirty little carnivore. Me too, honey. You should be working.
Busted. That's funny.
This one. I'll attest about the hair color coming. My hair use its original colour, dark brown. And I'm 67. People can't believe I don't dye my hair.
I'm
Yeah,
hoping
that
mine grows back.
you might get a bit of colour here. Yeah. Yeah, my roots are looking pretty good at the moment. So, yeah.
Yeah, mine are not. I got so much gray. I'm so tired of this. Look at this stuff. Look at that. All on the side. All on the
It's
side.
all that wisdom.
Oh man, I gotta fix this in a hurry. When I take my hat off, I age 15 years as soon as I take my hat off. It's terrible. Ah, what else we got here?
We're all in this together. God bless you all. He is our refuge to our strength, and our community of friends who understand the battle makes it easier to open up and talk about our struggles.
It does.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And like I said, it really is the fact that I think it doesn't matter how much you weighed or what your health problem was, there's something that resonates, a commonality amongst all of us. And I always go back to, because I think it's the same disease, it's just different symptoms, right? And so I think we all recognize the same disease. It's all sugar addiction, it's all the standard American diet, and it's all the same mental problems that we all have with it. And then, in addition to that, the things that make us a little more unique is we all have our symptoms that we're dealing with. But it's pretty incredible, because I don't care if I'm listening to a guy, now that I'm here, I don't care that if I'm listening to a guy that, you know, had cancer, or a guy that had inflammation, or, any of these problems that everybody's having with inflammation. I just resonate with all of them when they're talking. You just resonate how you see that carnivore glow in everybody. You see that carnivore zen, and everybody's just happy again. Everybody's just grateful to have a second chance. I mean, it's incredible.
I'm all teary. Oh, this has been an emotional story for us having Michael join us. And yeah, I had a bit of a sook there, but I hit it well behind these glasses. Yeah. Loved you having a crack at your Dr. Todd. Yeah, we were
I love that
driving home.
story. Both of them. I know. I can't. I'm gonna have Lindy take a camera with her when she goes and tells her doctor off.
Oh yeah, for sure, absolutely.
Drop some elbows on that guy, Scott. I'm not kidding. They got it coming at this point, as far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
Oh, Michael, you got family here. Pass the tissue.
We're all in it.
Yeah. It's a very emotional journey, isn't it? There's so many ups and downs, but we're so positive at the same time. So happy tears a lot of the time.
And I think for all of us that it's all come in our life at the exact time that we really needed it the most. Because I know we were all in dark places and thought about giving up. And I know I went to bed many times thinking that maybe I won't wake up in the morning and I'll be free from this. So, and I know same for both of you guys too. So, and it's sad to say, but you get hopeless. And it's each day you go through this, it's torture to get out of bed every morning and deal with all the pain, but you have to do it.
It's only going to get better from here on. We found.
I see it, and I see it in both of you guys. And when you can see something, that gives you the belief that you can believe in it. And I see it. So
it's contagious for sure. I mean,
it
really is. In so many things, I'm addicted to so many new things. I'm addicted to just feeling better every day. I'm addicted. I mean, literally, it's weird. It's like you start seeing how efficient you can get at feeling optimal, like optimizing how good you can feel and becoming efficient at feeling that way. Because that's what spawned me to quit chewing Copenhagen. That's what spawned me to do this priming stuff. And now every day, that's what spawned me to quit bacon, because I'm like, it's fun. You start chasing and like, man, I could feel just a little bit better. And you get addicted to feeling better, being happy, waking up with energy, feeling good. And then you can just tackle anything now. Like nothing shakes you up. You're like, nah, whatever. Yeah, it's a problem, but I'm going to beat it. That's all I know. Cause compared to sugar, this is easy, it doesn't matter. It's just, and then the biggest thing is you find the people you care about around you. You're like, I just want to transplant this feeling in your head for like 10 minutes and get you hooked on it. I
Yeah.
just want to pop that right in there and say, see that? That's what I'm talking about. Now come to the light. Exactly.
Yep. And people don't understand it. People don't understand. I told 2 other people about this to give this a try and get free of carbs. And they said they love carbs too much. Well, it's not really a love of carbs. It's that you're addicted to them. And you don't want to give them up, just like a drug addict doesn't want to give up drugs or an alcoholic doesn't want to give up alcohol. It's you're addicted to that. Give them up and just try it for 30 days. That's all you got to do. And the other thing I just want to say is you don't need to eat the steaks. I don't have steak. All I can afford is ground beef patties, and it's working for me. So if money's tight on you, get the ground beef patties and just go with that and stick to it. Yeah, you can spice them up a little bit with some spices and stuff like that, but you don't need to eat the steaks. I'm hoping to get my first ribeye that I haven't had in like 20 years. They got them on sale. I'm hoping to get some this week, so I'm gonna try them.
That's gonna be awesome. Do you have an air fryer yet?
Yes, I do.
All
Yep.
right, I gotta lead you into the path of the righteous air fried steak.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm a lost cause apparently.
I was taking notes, so
We're gonna do this. We're gonna have a little clinic on air fried steaks. I think Well, ask Bill Knott. He looks like he's doing some fantastic ones I've seen on his video too.
Yeah.
He's got some nice ones.
yep.
What we got now?
Here's some truth right here.
Oh.
She is.
Thank
She's
you,
amazing.
Susan.
All right.
Oh, so many questions and not questions, but comments.
I know. It's amazing.
Wow.
I was so glad I finally, because I, in my big dumb brain, I didn't know how to share admin access to this program that we're using. And now I'm so glad that you guys both see it, because I'm like, I'm not as dumb as I look. This is why I was having trouble the other day, because it's kind of hard.
No, it's unbelievable. I'm blown away by all these. Can you talk about, sorry, you got it. Can you talk about what it is like to offend each other?
You're trying to make Lindy cry again, aren't you?
I'll cry. She won't be the only one that's crying, because it's unreal to finally have somebody that I can talk to that knows where I've been. Me and Todd were sending pictures to each other of our body parts because he knows what what I got, and he's got the same exact thing. He understands it. So it's amazing. I've never felt I've had walls up my entire life. And I knew from watching your guys' videos with the shows that I just felt a connection to both of you right from the start. And I think I even said that in like episode 2, and there's more people out there too. There's others that are out there that are helping us, that are helping me, and I know that I'm not the only one that's being helped by. Whenever you see somebody that's big like us and they had the guts to go forward and come out like this and share their story, it's amazing, and they are helping other people. They help me, and I try to comment on everybody's page and telling them how much they're helping people. Okay. But Lindy and Todd, they're my go-to. Their knowledge, because they've been doing this for so long, it's unreal.
I mean, I appreciate that. I mean, the fact of the matter is we're all learning, and I'm so glad that somebody's getting something out of my crazy ramblings. But yeah, when I did my channel, I talk about this like it was any time ago. It was basically day before yesterday in my mind. It was just like right there. And I saw Bill Knott, and all that I could think about was I knew where he was, and I knew that I was 7 months earlier I'd been there, and I was having all these questions about you know you know how your addicted mind, your brain fog, it lies to you, and it's just you're just full of doubts, and you're looking. It's like your addict your addict personality is trying to come up with excuses why you can't do this, and it's always telling you it's not going to work. Plus, you got this whole lifetime of failure when it comes to health and diet that you just never been successful at, right? Nothing panned out. So I was looking and grasping for somebody that had been in my shoes and had come through it through carnivore. And I not just through carnivore, but in any diet, really. I couldn't find it. The only people you'd see would be on like The Biggest Loser, and then they gain it back and end up even more metabolically sick. Or there was that terrible show, My 600 Pound Life, where they were just turning these people into sideshow entertainment and just putting them out there, and then nobody was. It just wasn't helping these people. And then on the fact that I also knew that my mom had gastric bypass and my sister had lap band, and that something about this just seemed inhumane. You're treating these people like they're cattle or something, cutting their stomachs out, and this clearly wasn't the answer, right? And so those are the only thing that I was seeing out there. But carnivore was resonating with me, and there's some amazing success stories, but I didn't see anybody like that. In my head, I was too far gone. I dug a hole too deep, and this was just a Hail Mary, hoping that it would work. And then it did. And then that's all I wanted Bill to know. That this is okay to get excited about. It's okay to have faith in this. This is not, you don't have to let all that stuff beat you down about, all the things that I was thinking. This is no big deal, no different than all the other fad diets, all the other crazy things you tried. Is you're broken, you're failure, you're broken, you don't have the stamina, you don't have the willpower, you're going to fail. And then I didn't. And it worked. And it worked not because of my strength, but because this diet rewards you and it heals your body. And then that was when I finally started realizing why it was working and things. And so I just wanted to give that to Bill, and I wanted him to know it, because I knew he had the same look in his eyes where we were both the people that didn't know if we were waking up the next day, the next week, the next month. And even worse, didn't really care if we did. And so I made a channel, and I made a video, and I was sitting there going, this is going nowhere, because I didn't have one subscriber, and I'm like, how do you get a video to somebody when there's nobody that knows you made a video? Like, where does this go? And so I stuck it out there, just trying to get a hold of Bill. That was it. And lo and behold, some things unfolded, but Lindy commented on my video. And I could not, I mean, that day when you commented on my video, my chin hit the floor, because I was like, there's another person. And not only that, but she's way further along than me. So you were that hope that I was looking to see, and you came in through my chat. So I watched your videos, and then I didn't know how to contact you, and I was like, I didn't know if you wanted to be contacted or anything. But then we finally got it kind of lined up and did a Zoom call, and it just was so nice to talk to somebody that could relate. And it was kind of in that same Zoom call that I realized, hey, wait a minute, there's probably other people out there like us that would love to hear these conversations, because they're looking for what I was looking for and what I found out Lindy was looking for, and that wasn't out there. And that's where the show came from. And then of course, since then, Lindy's just, a superhero, awesome person. That's how this happened. So yeah, that was my side of it. On to you.
Yeah.
I cut you off first because I didn't want to have to follow you, because you're way better at this than I am.
Oh, no. Well, yeah, obviously I felt pretty alone. I was in the SBG gang, and as you said, there's 150 people up there on little screens, all with their pictures showing, and me there with my camera off. And everyone looked beautiful to me. I mean, they all, obviously, some had weight to lose, others had conditions they need to heal, but me, I just looked so different to them, and I was ashamed to put my camera on. I was embarrassed. I didn't want to show people how far I had let myself go, basically. So it was difficult. I just felt like the unicorn in the room, and everything that they were talking about, I'm like, how does that apply to me? I'm not like any of these other people. I have way much more weight to lose. I have all the edema and all these issues and emotional issues. I never really grieved the loss of my mum very well. I just threw myself into work, so I had all that to deal with. That was always a struggle. So I just seemed to have so many problems. And then in that January, I thought I'll reach out to Emily. She was a larger girl, and I kind of felt a little bit of a connection. I think she was around 350 pounds at her largest, something around there. So that was the closest that I had sort of come to. I was obviously much more heavier than that, but I thought she may be able to relate. She's a mum as well. And yeah, that was amazing. So just reaching out and having that person to help me through my journey was really good. But I still just felt like a bit of a unicorn. And when I saw Bill's story, that was me back before I started as well. I used to go to bed and I wish that I wouldn't wake up. I would literally sometimes cry that I woke up in the morning because I didn't want to be there. It's like I hated my life, and I was just so down on myself. I felt like a failure. I felt every diet. I felt lap band surgery. I just couldn't do anything. So my whole life, I just felt like a failure. So yeah, when I saw Bill, I decided to tell my story as well, in the hope that he would find that and think, okay, well, this does work. If you've got something to sort of gauge, and like in 20 months or so, you could lose quite a bit of weight and get some of your life back. So obviously for me, weight loss was a big key at the start of my journey. But to me now, that's just the cherry on top. The transformation in my personality, I'm so much brighter and happier. All that depression's gone, the brain fog's gone. I feel fantastic. And the weight loss is just the cherry on top. Like, I've still got a long way to go to get to where I'm considered a normal weight. But there's no rush anymore. I feel fantastic. And that's all that I matter about now. But meeting these guys, oh, look, we've just got such a huge connection now. Like, we've lived that life, and I'm so excited to watch both Todd and Michael's journeys now, and they'll be catching up to me soon. We're all going to be on the same page, and we all have plans to meet up in Central, in the middle of Australia, and whatever that Central, I think you said it's the cannibal kind of island. So that works. Whatever, we can run away from the cannibals.
Bring your running shoes.
I looked it up. I looked it up too, and there was another option. It's called London, so I think we might want to pick.
Yeah, if we go the other way.
Yeah. So look, we have big plans. I'd love to meet them one day, and when we connected on Zoom and just spoke about some of the things that we put up with, like the treadmill stories, and that was so nice to be able to speak to someone. I've got a treadmill here. People, they see my transformation now, like even now, friends, and they're like, oh, hey, you've lost so much weight, you look fantastic, and you're so happy, but you're going to die of a heart attack. And it's like, hang on, you just tell me all these great positive things about me, and then you turn around and you're trying to kick me when I'm at my highest. Like, don't kick me down now. Be happy for me, and just, I'm not saying you've got to do it. You do what you want to do, but why kick somebody down when they're on their way up? And that's my big thing at the moment, is when people have to have their say and try and beat you down after the transformation I'm experiencing. So they see the transformation, but they don't believe it.
Totally.
And that's not my problem.
And I've realized that that's literally just, it's because it threatens their own personal views. They have this world that makes sense for them, and they want to believe that they can control certain things, and they don't want to believe that something could be out of control. And if you do something like possibly get healthier than them, eating bacon and steak, it throws their worldview into a tizzy. And then they usually do try to beat you down like that. I've had that a lot, but anymore, like it does, I do not sweat it, because it's like, look, I'm talking to an addict now. You were the addict. I'm not,
Yeah.
so I'm talking to an addict, and nothing you say is going to make a heck of a lot of sense right now. So I just kind of give them all the leeway in the world to be like, have a nice day. We'll
Yeah.
see you.
Once the carnival calms kind of set in, so like you can waffle and justify all you like on your side. I know what it is. This is me now, and I this is the way I am, and I accept you for who you are. And if you can't accept me for what I'm doing now, then waffle away. But my ears are turned off.
Yeah,
I know
exactly.
where I am,
Yeah.
and I just let them get it out of their system, and then I change the topic, and we're good to go. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I
have
always look at him and go, good talk. That's all I ever say. Good
yeah,
talk.
I have 2 goals in my life right now: lose the weight, get out of the apartment, and to meet both of these people in life and give each of them a hug because
yeah.
they
We're
really
getting,
helped me.
I guarantee you, we're all getting that done. So
And Todd's going to cook me a steak.
I'm gonna cook
I
you a
mean,
steak.
I'm first.
You guys got to come to the fireworks show. Check
Yeah,
out the fireworks show. We'll put steaks on the smoker, and you can get the whole Montana Montana 4th of July experience.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's going
Michael,
to
you
happen.
said your birthday is in July. When's your birthday? What day?
July 16th.
I'm
There we
July
go.
1st.
Wow.
So our
Um,
birthday's in July. So yeah,
Yeah,
definitely do July 4th for
that's
our
awesome.
birthday.
there you go.
Combined birthday
Yeah,
barbecue
I've got a
fireworks.
I've got two nephews I think that are in July as well that have birthdays. I'm in May. I'm an odd duck.
yeah.
All right. What we got? We got any? Okay, well, I'm on the wrong page. That's why I don't see all the starred ones. Oh, we got a bunch of stuff now. Here we go. We're gonna give a quick recap for this one. So
Oh,
number
you
one,
can do that.
okay, no worries. Number one, rewind the tape after when we get done. This is gonna get posted, and you'll hear about it. I think 3 other times, but you are bringing up something that I think is important because I'm realizing I think we should both make a video about this and post it on our channels
Yes.
so that we can point people to it because this people are obviously we struck a nerve. But the real quick part priming is kind of forcing yourself to eat highly nutrients dense foods so that your body can heal, so that you can prepare for fasting, a period of fasting, so that you can lean out and get rid of the extra body weight and also go through autophagy and heal some dormant and dead tissues out of your body and promote autophagy. So that's the quick gist of it. Let's see.
Eat meat for our health and for health of the planet. Cattle are part of the carbon cycle. Grasses use CO2. Cattle eat grass and return CO2 to the atmosphere. Nice new CO2 is added. I was thinking about the other day, like cows eat grass, horses eat grass, goats, and so why are they picking on the cows? What about the
Right.
horses and all the other animals that fart? I mean,
I think it's because they know that. I think it's because they know how important cow is specifically to health, and I
Yes.
think they do that on
yeah,
purpose.
it's like they're picking on the poor cows when you've got all these other animals that do just the same thing. So
Exactly.
You know,
yeah,
all these people are going against that, but they don't stop flying their private planes.
No.
yeah.
But yeah,
So,
And the
how many cow?
factories are like beyond foods. They must be processed, and factories
Oh yeah.
happening there with smoke and all sorts of things.
Oh yeah, and how many cow farts does it take to equal one flight on a private jet?
yep.
You know, like ridiculous. All right, let's see.
I had gastric bypass about 5 years ago, and my internal system has
Yep.
never been the same. It's not the answer. Yeah, and that's hard to reverse too, isn't it? That's
Yeah.
like you
Gastric
can't.
bypass, you can't.
No, I know I'm
Bear.
dealing with the same thing with my mom,
Yep.
and she's getting better, and she's getting an appetite. She had to get over the soda first. She's been taking gallbladder formula from Dr. Berg and doing a few things. and now she's eating more and more. She's still trying to sneak in the keto snacks. She's still bringing in those no sugar added pudding packs and things. I'm like, da da da. No, I swear it's like the maid is like her hookup to the outside, bringing like sneaking drugs into the prison, basically.
Yep.
So it's kind of funny. Let's see
But
here.
it's
Oh, but
not the end of the it's not the end of the story. You can still do carnivore. You just have to eat smaller meals, a few smaller meals throughout the day. You can't sit down and have OMAD and do all that anymore. But it doesn't mean you can't do carnivore. And I do the same with my restriction with my lap band surgery. I just have to have a few smaller meals throughout the day. But it's what you put in your mouth. You have to restrict your food intake because physically you can't deal with it. So make sure whatever goes in your mouth is optimal. So
absolutely. And um I was just thinking this brings up a good time to bring up that we're going to kind of be going over bariatric and lap band next show. Next Sunday, my sister's coming on. We'll have a guest. That's kind of funny. But my sister had lap band too, and it didn't work for her. And now she's carnivore, or 99.9% carnivore, but slightly ketovore because she still has the occasional fat bomb. She likes to have some fat bombs still. But big picture is she's carnivore. I think she's down 41 or 51 pounds now, which is huge for her because I think she was, that's like 1/3 of the weight that she needs to lose that she's never been able to lose, that lap band didn't get her to lose. So that was huge. And also, but even more so, it just gave her mobility back. She's 51, I think, 50 or 51. And then even just recently, she called me and she was freaking out because she had basically been told like 3 years ago that she was going on early menopause at like 47. And then she's like, does carnivore screw up your hormones? Because all of a sudden I'm not going through menopause anymore. So she was like wigging out. And I'm like, this is kind of above my pay grade, but I can tell you from being the steak and butter gang, I think that just means you're getting healthy, you know?
Right.
And so, so anyhow, she's having fantastic results. And she's got the lap band. So, Lindy and my sister Carrie are going to talk about all things carnivore and lap band, next, Sunday, I believe. So, just want to throw that out there.
I'm still looking forward to that. Yeah.
All right. Next.
I'm so lucky that my doctor is a carnivore. He's my orthopedic surgeon that did my surgery on my back, tells all his patients to cut out sugar and seed oils before he does their surgery. Wow, that's awesome. It's good to hear there are doctors out there that can do that.
That
Open
hasn't had
mind.
a self-inflicted lobotomy.
Yeah.
Great job.
Wonderful.
Yeah, congratulations. That's really good.
Lindy, do you still have the band? I was desperate. Had mine for 10 years and maybe 20 pounds down. Had it removed, ketoed 70 pounds down. Now being carnivore 3 weeks, it's all such a journey. Love you folks. I do actually still have my lap band. I did have it loosened just after Mum passed away. So about 12 years ago, I had it loosened because I had stretched the pouch. And they said, look, we'll loosen it because I kind of wasn't eating at that time because I just lost Mum, so I was kind of grieving a little bit. And they said, well, loosen it for a little bit, then come back and we'll tighten it up again. And that way, hopefully that pouch will shrink. And I never went back. Life kind of happened. We had to sell our house and all this stuff. So I just never went back to the doctor. So it is in there. It has been loosened, but it still restricts a little bit, but not fully. I am too scared to go back to the doctors. I've heard a few horror stories about the lap band, kind of your body growing over it and things like that. And I'm scared if I go in and have surgery, they might rip my stomach open or something weird. So I just don't do anything about it now. I just put up with it. So I'm too scared to go in, and I just don't want to see doctors unless I really need to. So
Tired of getting cut on, tired for no reason, Like, look at that.
yeah,
You were just going to take out your gallbladder. You don't need this. Spare parts. Who in the world has ever looked at a human being, thought they were made with redundant spare parts?
Yep. Yep.
Good Lord.
Yeah, my last doctor was like, oh, when you fail the carnivore diet, come and see me and I'll give you a gastric bypass. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. Carnivore's working for me. I'm happy. I've got an off switch now, which I never had before with a lap band or any other diet. I finally got an off switch. I'm on my way up, doing well. Why would I want to have come and have a bypass surgery?
No.
I don't need to do it.
No.
I found what's working for me, and I'm going to continue doing that, and I'll eventually reach my goal weight, and I'll come back and see you and tell you I did this naturally. But yeah,
Totally.
Yep.
my brother is
Well,
having gastric sleeve surgery on 1st of the 11th. What's that? 2 days. He's type 2 diabetic, congestive heart failure, stage 4 kidney disease, tried keto and didn't work, a drastic lifestyle change ahead. Oh. Can you send him our links?
yes.
Maybe he can watch our story. Yeah, that's so sad.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but the one thing good about, I could be totally wrong because I don't know everything about gastric sleeve, but I think they started doing gastric sleeve because I think that they just staple off that portion of the stomach. So I think that one is reversible. I'm not 100% sure, but I think instead of like gastric bypass where they cut it off and leave a small portion of the stomach, I think the gastric sleeve, they actually put like a small conduit in there, hold up the stomach to that conduit, and they staple it, and it makes it an extension of your intestines. But I think that the other part side of the stomach, I think they might leave that in there so that they can reverse
It
it
stays
later.
attached, I believe. Yeah.
I think so.
There's so many different types.
But I just hate to see anybody with kidney problems and and congestive heart failure having that kind of surgery. I mean, that by itself is hard on the body. And then what I'm finding out right now, and what Lindy's found out, and what we're all finding out, is that obesity is a malnourishment disease. And then you take a bariatric surgery and you take their ability to get nourishment and absorb nourishment. It's like I don't have any bariatric surgeries, and I'm having a hard enough time right now eating enough nourishment without a restriction. I mean, God, how do you like what you've done, Lindy, and what my sister's doing? To me, that's just like, it's got to make it so much tougher when I'm dealing with my mom. Like it's got to be so much more difficult to get the nourishment in, you know?
It is, and like if I had have known what I know now 25 years ago, I would not have had my back surgery at all. I would have done carnivore. I would have had a fantastic, amazing life. And it saddens me that I've lost 25 years of continued yo-yo dieting, binging, purging, all the rest, just to try and look normal, and I failed. Completely failed. And it didn't help. Like, I still had the emotional attachment to food. And what's a lap
Yeah.
band going to do about that? It's not
And
going to fix the root cause of my issues.
Yeah, and it's not gonna make any of the inflammation go away. It's not gonna make most of the stuff go away. This is it. This is the prime example of treating a symptom instead of treating the disease. You're going after just the weight. Yeah, and you're willing to burn everything else down, your digestive system, and just destroy it just to attack the weight. And it's like, well, wait, you're saying that it's because of the kidney disease and the congestive heart failure. And I mean, I'm not talking at you here, I'm just thinking out loud, basically, Susan. But it's like this doesn't automatically fix those things. Sure, there will be a little bit less stress if you weigh less and stuff, but also there's going to be still inflammation and more stress when you over the period of years, when you can't get enough protein and you can't get enough amino acids, and it's just going to be tough. It's like, I don't know. I mean, I know you don't want him to. I'm sure you lost.
He lost on keto, but he didn't stick with it, gained it back. It's a lifestyle mindset, can't go back to old ways of eating. I've done yo-yo dieting for years till I found keto. Exactly. I mean, you can have the surgery if you continue eating the way you were eating before, like any processed foods or whatever. It's not going to help you. You still have to learn to eat the proper food, like nutritional food. So It's just, yeah, and for some people it works for. Some people have been successful with lap band on gastric bypass, and great to them, but not it doesn't work for everybody. And obviously for me, it didn't work, and I've still suffered a lot after that. So yeah, it's a hard one. I wish we could reach out to him and he could see that to really think about his options first. To maybe
Yeah.
try carnivore for a little bit and see how you go. And it's hard work, but surgery is not the miracle. It's not a quick fix. You've still got all those issues hanging over your head, and you're still battling all that. And until you deal with that, it's really hard to keep on track. And
I don't know how much he weighs, but at a certain point, it's really about the mind as well. If your mind is not in it, you're not going to lose the weight. My suggestion is give carnivore a try, and you got to stick to it. The first month for me, like I said, was very, very tough, but I pushed through it, and I went cold turkey with all the carbs, everything, tried to get them all out of my life. And after like 4 weeks, I start notice a difference right away. And just to be free from that addiction to food is huge when you're trying to lose weight.
Yep.
Now, for gastric bypass, my older brother has had it just this past year, earlier this year, before I even found out about this. And he has lost some weight. I think he just broke 100 pounds in like 9 months, maybe 8 months. And I wish I would have found this for him back then and had him try this instead, because he's still talking about how his knees are killing him, how he's so stiff, how he's not sleeping at night, and all this. So see, even with the gastric bypass and losing 100 pounds, and he wasn't really that big. He was in the threes. He still got all the problems that he had with the 100 pounds. So it wasn't a cure for that.
Yeah.
It definitely reach out
oh,
some supportive community as well. I think will help as well. Keep him on track.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And like my mom had that same experience. She had gastric bypass. She lost weight, and it stayed off for like 2 years, probably 3.
Yep.
And then over that time, she learned how to eat around it, and she just did.
Yep.
And then it all came back on. And now I think she was probably like literally maybe a net 20 pounds lighter after all this was said and done in the back and forth. And she kind of settled it, made about a net difference of 20 pounds. But then all of a sudden she started getting weak, and she started getting atrophy, and she started having these other autoimmune problems because she wasn't able to absorb most of what she was eating. And when you really think about it, you have less stomach, so you're going to eat the highly absorbable quick energy things like sugar. That's what you want, because it absorbs, highly processed, pulverized, quick absorbing food is what you want with to get your endorphin fix. And so it's almost like it's designed to make you eat more sugar. It's crazy, to get your fix. So
Yep.
but I pray for him, man. Susan, let's check this out.
He attributes my fast healing to my proper human diet. I had a visit with him yesterday, and he was telling me how he just ordered some elk online. There are some good doctors out there. I'm so happy you found him. He's a gem.
That is amazing.
Hold on to that one.
Let's see here.
Oh, can I get an air fryer recommendation, please? What do you have, Todd?
I like the Ninja Foodie and the Ninja Speedy.
Yep.
So the Ninja, I think it's the Ninja Foodie is the one that's and I think it's actually the Ninja Foodie XL is my favorite for steaks, because it's a electric grill and air fryer at the same time. So you get like a sear and then an air fried crust on top of it. And I really enjoy that, actually. So that's my favorite for steaks. But then if you want a more versatile one, the Ninja Speedy is like and I might have those two names looked up. You'll know the difference. One looks like a grill, one looks like a crock pot air fryer square thing with the lid. Bill's got it on his channel all the time. But that one's nice if you're like because you can do everything. I like that's what I do my slow cooking on briskets and chuck roasts on. But then also if I did an air fried turkey the other day. I stuck a whole turkey in there and I air fried it, and that was awesome. And so that one's just really good. But that one does not make the steaks quite as good as the electric grill air fryer combo, that which I believe is the Foodie XL, but it might be the Speedy XL. But you'll know it. It's a big wide electric grill with a lid on it that air fries on top and grills on the bottom. Then you flip it over and you get the best of both worlds. It's pretty killer. What do you have, Lindy?
I think that might be the one I've got. It's a Ninja, and it's got the flip lid, and it's got the element on the top.
Yeah.
It has a basket and a steel griddle. And
Yep.
I use that one because it's got no Teflon in it, because Teflon's dangerous for birds. If they don't want to kill my birds, so we have to have Teflon free. So that was a good option for me, and I love it. So
Amazing,
I don't know what
isn't it?
model it is, but it's a Ninja. Yeah. So if
Yeah.
you've got a bird, definitely recommend that one.
How about you, Michael?
I just got some generic, no name one. It's a basket one that I would use before to make my French fries and all that stuff before I was doing this. I actually make all my in a pan, So, but I can vouch for Ninja. I have a Ninja contact cooker that I love, and I'm sure I can make a steak in that. I actually got a chuck roast that I want to try making in there, and but I am a fan of Ninja products.
In Ireland, they just slaughtered thousands of cows for climate change protection. Oh my
That's
God.
just unreal. I can't get over that.
Yeah, well, they keep
Why don't they
messing
just
around.
ride bikes? Go and ride a freaking bike.
Yeah.
Use your car.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
We got people starving in this world, and here they're just killing cows for no reason at all. All that meat
Yeah.
could have been used.
These are political agendas and a bunch
Yeah.
of talking head freaking ideologues that I don't know. Keep messing around and see what the people end up doing. It's not going to be pretty if they keep doing stuff like that.
They can remove a lap band. Yeah, I just remember when I went in, initially they said you must keep in contact with the doctors at all times, that there's always complications that can occur if you don't. I've obviously not listened to any of that because I haven't been back. But yeah, I just don't want to put myself under surgery again unless I have to. I'm hoping one day I could have skin removal surgery if that's an option. I don't know. We'll have to see how I go financially and whether I can get that done medically. That's probably the only surgery I'd actually consider right now. Look, it's not harming me at the moment. Like, I can still eat. I'm feeling well. So why put myself through that unnecessary surgery? Yeah. So I'm just going to stick with it for now.
Yeah.
Thank you, Laura. Our minds are so powerful. Those inputs are key.
They really are, for sure. And that's I don't know. I might even make a video on it sometime, but I definitely want to talk about it on here too. But I've been thinking a lot lately, just kind of going back through the things that made a difference for me, and the education, and just like, the red pilling of the food system, and what's really been happening has been huge. And being with like-minded people that are also can help point you toward really good research and kind of open up your mind, and then to sit back with a mind that's not stuck in the standard American diet brain fog, and then to actually be able to see with a clear mind how I got here, and what's been making the biggest differences for me. I mean, I know I keep bringing it up a little bit about my realization with quitting chewing, and why when I did it, you may have heard it or may not, but I had made a plan to quit chewing about a week earlier than I did, but then it came time to do it, and I was stressed out because I'd started priming. I wasn't sleeping good. I hadn't slept in a week. I had a huge project at work that I was working on, and then so it was that time, and I was like, this is not smart. Deciding to quit chewing this week, because I'm jeopardizing not only everything that I'm already working on that's going good, because I'd be jeopardizing priming, more sleep issues and things like that. But on top of it, I don't like to I now know the value in making a good plan to quit something, because if you make a haphazard plan to quit something, and then and it's like the first time you're trying that thing and you fail, well, now that thing has like a thumb, like a hand up over you now, because now you're in the future you're fighting an opponent that beat you once already. So now it just seems tougher, right? Like it's a
Yep.
little bit of a head game. So I don't like losing the first fight. I'd just rather get it off and get off to a good start and get it done. So it's important to at least give it a good fight so that you don't feel like you got dominated by this tough thing, because then it's just a mental thing too that holds you down. So I didn't want to do any of that. And I chose to put it off one more week and get 3 more cans of Copenhagen at the time. But then as soon as I did it, there was an old cycle that came through, and it kind of surprised me, because I was there's like a warning system in my subconscious, like, okay, cue the guilt coming in, because in the past, had I made any adjustments to like a diet, like, hey, I'm going to start a diet on Monday, and then I didn't, I would just go, I'd just get all depressed about it, all in my head about it, and I'd be beating myself up and feeling guilty about it for a long time. And so it's almost like my subconscious knew that that was probably incoming, and I was like bracing for it.
Yep.
And then it never came in, but my subconscious was sitting there like telling me any second this guilt hammer is going to drop, be ready for it. And that stuck there for days. And finally I had to sit back and go, man, the only thing about this that's bothering me is the fact that it's not bothering me that I put
Yep.
it off. So what is going on here? Like, it was annoying enough that I actually had to sit down and think about it. And then it kind of came to me that what's happening here is I'm no longer an addict. And so I can trust my motives. And I actually made a real honest plan that made sense in the interest of, being successful on everything and getting healthier and things. It wasn't my addict personality saying, yeah, tell him whatever he's got to hear so we can eat more crap next week. It wasn't like that. It was honest, and my subconscious or something knew it, and it just knew that that was real. And so anyhow, that was fun to realize last week, that I can trust myself again. I was like,
Yep.
that was the first time that's happened in, I don't know, years. And then I realized, holy crap, I can trust my own motives again. That felt
Yep.
really good, to be able to do that. So, but what I was saying is, it's been, I want to do something like that, because our minds are so powerful. I'm finding out that a lot of those things, I didn't realize how powerful they were when I was changing my mind. By listening to all these great people and these experiences, it really does change the way that you think, and it changes your kind of worldview about food. And that's I had more to do with my success, I think, than I actually know.
Yep. And for the first time in a long time, Todd, you're starting to believe in yourself.
Yeah, trust myself.
Yes.
Like, I might even believe that I could do it before, but the problem is I never believed that I wanted to do it
No.
before.
Yep.
There's a difference, because I was
Yeah.
more addict than I was.
Right.
I was more addict than I was worried about fixing it. And then that changed, because I got bad enough that that was the only option, was fix it or give up.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's just kind of interesting. So I do want to talk about that more. This is why I got to stop answering these questions, because I get so long-winded when it comes to this stuff. I'm sorry, I'm dragging this out for you guys.
Todd, did you air fry it for Cosette?
You did bust me too, because that was for Cosette. My mom wanted some too, but it was for Cosette, because she just had 10 teeth pulled, because she had 3 abscesses in her mouth, and she had a kind of a growth on the back of her neck removed. And she's always been a turkey hound, but she's been happy to have beef. But since her teeth got pulled, she knows she's getting the sympathy card right now, because we're treating her real nice. And so she's been holding out for turkey. And so she's been kind of on like a beef hunger strike to get her turkey. And I finally was feeling so bad for her the other day that I bought her 2 turkeys at Costco. I bought her a pre-smoked one from Costco, and I bought her a fresh one and air fried it to see which one she likes better. And turns out she likes the air fried better. she That dog. I told her she has no idea that she won the dog lottery because she gets treated like a little princess.
Thank
Hi,
you.
you three are all doing great, and Lindy, you're just an inspiration. Oh, thank
She
you.
is. She is.
Absolutely. Howdy, howdy. One more.
Yes, Michael listens to his doctors, and I can't tell him because he feels like this surgery is going to help save him.
You know,
I thought it
go
was a
ahead.
miracle too. Go for it, Michael. Sorry.
People, for the longest time, I always thought that getting the one I wanted was dual denal bypass, where they do the whole gastric bypass and then they remove a large portion of your intestines, so you can still eat more, but your body just doesn't absorb it, and that would have messed me up for the rest of my life. But I was hoping to lose the weight because that was my goal. Um, I would, and like I said, for the longest time, I always thought that that was the only answer for me. But now finding this, I see the true answer, and it is this. Because back then, even if I got the gastric bypass, I'd still be addicted to carbs, and I'd still want to eat more, and you're going to eventually screw it up again. So,
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't have any experience in that personally, but I've seen my sister and my mom go through it, and then just when you really start to understand what obesity, well, obesity is many things, but one of the main things it is malnutrition. So how does making it more hard to nurse the body make a disease that's mostly caused by or in large part caused by malnutrition? It doesn't add up.
Mm.
All right. Hey, Chuck, going through some things.
The lap band comment was aimed at surgeons who lie and tell folk it's not safe to remove but need constant adjustment and checkups. Follow the time. Yeah, true. You've got to pay their Mercedes lease payment plans or BMW.
yep.
I guess
It's a
just sad.
shame when doctors are more motivated about money instead of motivating about actually helping people. And
Yeah.
that's the problem with the medical world.
Absolutely.
Except for
Yeah,
Tampa's
it's
doctor. She found a carnivore doctor, so
Yeah,
Tampa
that's great.
before.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I suppose this is not as rare, but my brother's chiropractor who has an actual doctor that works in his practice because they a medical doctor that works in his practice, I should say, that does stem cell injections. He's all carnivore
Yep.
and totally believes in it. So it's just it's it's spreading, right, and it's making a difference because you can't deny it. You cannot
No.
deny the results and the inflammation being out of people and the health that's coming back. It's just that the people that are all about drugs and supplying prescription drugs, they're going to be the last ones because that's their livelihood. They're on that team medication.
If you look around, the only overweight people that are on carnivore are the ones that are just getting started. Everybody else you look at, they're all skinny, and they're all got their health back.
How are you doing, low carb? By the way, I was asking you, day 92. That's pretty awesome. How are you doing? Let's see.
And then yes, those two right there are telling the
Yeah,
truth when they talk.
yeah,
And it's
absolutely. That's
rare.
what. If you heard my interview on Carrie's channel on Homestead How, that's what I was saying. I don't think they don't get a complete pass just because they're trained that way. The deal is that they work in this industry every day now, and by now they should see that they are not making people healthier. That this is failing, and so anybody with any common sense or any kind of common sense or conscience should be able to back up and say, all right, I got to question what I was taught. I got to question this whole system because it's not working. And that's what Sean Baker, Ken Berry, Chafee, all those guys are doing now. And it's right. And don't be scared. There's to me, it's just like what we're doing with medication and what we're doing treating disease right now is going to be thought of as some of the worst, some of the worst atrocities in history. Like this is not going to be a proud part of our history. What's going on right now is not going to be a proud part of history, and now's the time for people to stand up and be courageous and get on the right side of it. We got to fix this thing. It's terrible.
I'm doing very well. I'm seeing small improvements every day. Yeah, and that's all it is. Day at a time. Fantastic.
Yeah. Well, I think oh my gosh, and we got 50 people in there. It's like we're gonna wind down, and we're at like a peak for the day. Oh my good lord, man! I got to tell you guys, I appreciate you guys so much. It's without you guys, we couldn't get this word out there, and that's the most important thing out of all of this. We just got to find people. We got to find people. We got to answer questions.
They're
we got
out
to
there.
spread the word.
They're watching this.
Yeah. And without you guys and your support, we could not do this. So I thank each and every one of you. You guys are amazing. I appreciate it. If you guys are having any questions, definitely our social media links are in our about page, and so are our emails. You can definitely feel free to ask us things. We don't know everything. In fact, I might not know much at all, but what I can answer, I will, and what I can't, I can definitely. I would definitely recommend going and joining up with the Steak and Butter Gang.
Yes.
And they even have a free forum, so you can kind of get an idea of how it is and ask some questions, and go over there and check it out, and just kind of immerse yourself in this community, and you'll see the truth rise to the top. You will get inspired. You will get knowledgeable about what's happening. You'll see the truth of this whole thing, and hopefully that will put you on the right path. That's about my 2 cents. What do you got, Lindy?
Yeah, no, definitely reach out. We're always here to help. We can talk about our experiences, how we've coped with things. Obviously, no medical advice, but just how we've overcome some of our obstacles, our hurdles, our social situations. So we can definitely speak on that part. And yeah, definitely reach out to the Steak and Butter Gang if you need a little bit more intense help. I had to do it, and there's no shame in that. If you need help, you need help, and it's definitely a move that you should make if needed. But yeah, you got this. We can all do this together. So, Michael.
And the thing that you need to remember is you are not alone in this. There are others out there like me, Lindy, Todd, Bill. We've been there, especially if you're at the higher end. Don't give up. There is an answer. You can do it. Carnivore. Reach out, and I'll help you however I can. I'm still learning, but I can tell you, and I know that everything is different for everybody. No one thing's going to work for the same people because we're all different. Our bodies are all different. So you have to find what works for you, stick to it, and keep that mindset that you have to do this and do it.
Absolutely.
Well said. Very good.
Well, we sure appreciate it. We love you guys, and we will be back next Sunday with I'd say special guest, but it's my sister, and she might get a big head, so I'm not going to say that. So with a guest, let's say that with a guest to talk about lap band and bariatric surgeries, and something else clever will probably come up with by then. As we do this we do this a bit on the fly, if you haven't noticed. But we appreciate it, and we'll be back on Sunday at 3 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. I can never say that. Yep. That's my own time zone. Mountain Daylight Time.
8 a.m. in Australia, Melbourne, Australia. Yep. Monday morning.
4 p.m. Central Time.
There we go. We appreciate it. And I think we have a little outro now because we're super fancy like that.
Well, we're getting fancy.
Thank you, Mom.